3 decades ago, a rookie coach led Essendon out of the wilderness, and it came with a little help.
Skipping over well is Watson racing into goal, shoots, and has put it through. Snapshot for goal, Watson, goal.
Sheedy's young Bombers captured the night flag on their way to greater glories.
Step 1, 2, goal.
Now, there's another rookie coach, one worshipped by the red and black faithful.
He's down there.
Teaming up with another Watson.
And Watson's kicked the goal. It's goal for goal. It's a beauty.
Can the great James Hird take the Bombers to their first premiership of any sort since the turn of the century?
James Hird can do no wrong.
Mick Malthouse's farewell tour has more momentum than the Rolling Stones. Could this be 2 flags in 6 months for the Pies?
And goes bang and kicks a beauty.
Or will Essendon's golden boy follow the path of his former coach? Tonight, there's more than just a trophy on the line as 2 bitter rivals collide. This is Friday Night Footy. As we welcome you to Etihad Stadium, a warm night for the NAB Cup final, which should be a beauty. 2 very big teams, obviously. Collingwood and also Essendon. We're looking forward to a cracking match. It's been a long time since a team won the day premiership and came back and won the pre-season cup, and that's what Collingwood's trying to do. It's been 17 years, in fact, and ironically, that team was Essendon. But Collingwood getting set to come out. There's a late change. Ben Reid's ankle hasn't come up. Tyson Goldsack comes into the team for the first time, so he and Alan Didak are the fresh blood. In fact, there are 7 changes from the team that won in Perth in the semi-final last Saturday night. Scott Pendlebury, the acting captain. It's a strong team. Nick Maxwell, obviously the player that's missing that would be there with their strongest lineup. So out come the Pies. What a club they are on and off the field. Such a strong team. Lachlan Keefe, their real new blood tonight, and he's been a revelation, hasn't he, through the NAB Cup series. So Collingwood out, they start favourites tonight. Top last year, they're against the 14th team, Essendon. Speaking of Essendon, look at the mega wall. We're everywhere here at Etihad Stadium. Tom and Tim, who we've seen already tonight in the opener, Tim Watson, they're down in the Bombers' rooms. Tim.
Thanks, Mac. A real atmosphere down here. Now, Essendon have been reprogrammed, Tom, over the summer months, and you've noticed some real changes about the way they play already.
Yeah, I have, Tim. I mean, everyone's been talking about Essendon's fantastic defensive work. I think if you go through the numbers, it's their offensive work that's been, I guess, a direct result from the defensive pressure. They're averaging 40 possessions more, 27 of those contested, and significantly, they're getting the ball inside their forward 50 more often than they have in the past. And you think that's a really critical part of tonight's game, Tim?
And one of those players they would like to go to down there is Paddy Ryder. David Hill comes back into the side after only training for 2 weeks. He'll start as the sub tonight, so that is going to be a handful for any defence, having those blokes play deep in the forward line.
6th grand final in charge of the Magpies. How are you feeling about tonight?
I wasn't aware of that. Well, I suppose we can, I'm up there. But, any final is a great final, and playing in a grand final is fantastic for our supporter group. It's, we can make what we like of players trying to capture fitness or recapture form or playing kids or whatever, but at the end of the day, those people up there, they all want to see us win. Exactly. And no doubt the mob down the other end will want them to win. So it should be a good game.
Well, good luck tonight, and on Monday, the King of Moomba. Congratulations.
Get on your knee and I might knight you.
We'll see you down there.
Good on you, mate. Look after yourself.
Good stuff there, Mickey Malthouse with Richo. Essendon not far away. They're about to come out. What a pre-season they've had under James Hird. Dustin Fletcher still there after all these years. James Hird will join Tim Watson in an interview at halftime. Really looking forward to that. Can you believe that these 2 great clubs have only played in 1 grand final of any description in 99 years? And that was the 1990, the very first AFL Grand Final. Lee Matthews, coach Collingwood, Tim Watson, captain Essendon. There you go, Dennis. Up to you with Lee.
If you tell me so, Bruce, I believe that, yes. James Hird might well be the golden boy, but certainly Collingwood are the gold standard, Lee.
Well, they've been terrific. I mean, Essendon, they played Dustin Fletcher, the 35-year-old, in the middle of February. They've been keen in the pre-season. I just get the impression Collingwood have been on automatic pilot, basically, and they just happen to have made it to the grand final.
So
but they're a wonderful team.
What makes them so good?
Well, first of all, they do the basics really well. They win the contested footy, they tackle really well, and which enables them to get inside their 50-metre scoring zone much more than their oppositions on average. But the really thing that separates them structurally is once the ball is in their 50-metre area, in their forward line, they lock it in. 15 minutes more a game on average than the opposition. They turn the ball over, they score 44 odd points from turnovers. So that's the structure that the opposition have to crack to beat that Collingwood press. Have a look at that at half-time.
Yep, amazing stats too, as you saw there, and Lee running through them for you. Some star players in wonderful pre-season form. This guy's been great too as far as Essendon are concerned. Before that we saw Jared Wellingham, who the more I see Wellingham on tape, the more I like. He's just a terrific player. Chris Dawes and Scott Pendlebury, outstanding players as well. Dawes kicking goals out forward. Watson, of course, skipper tonight, skipper for the season, skipper last season and best and fairest. Tarrant is back in town. Everything is set for a grand final between two of the powerhouses in terms of their past and I guess in their current form as well. The NAB Cup Grand Final, Essendon and Collingwood, is coming right up. On a glorious night here in Melbourne, just a beautiful day here in the mid to high 20s. Big crowd too building up for this grand final in the NAB Cup. Let's go down and join our master of ceremonies. Here's Craig Willis.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NAB Cup 2011 Grand Final. More than $325,000 was raised through the first round of the NAB Cup to help community football clubs in Victoria and Queensland affected by the recent floods to rebuild. This was on top of $650,000 donated by AFL players, AFL clubs and the AFL to the Queensland Premier's flood appeal, bringing the total contribution from the Australian football community to almost $1 million. Thanks also to the AFL's corporate partners, to NAB and to Swiss, who kindly supported our fundraising efforts. Well done. Do you now please join with the players, coaches and umpires as we stand for the Australian National Anthem. And ladies and gentlemen, tossing the coin tonight to decide the choice of ends, Colleen Duggan from the Fitzroy Learning Centre.
Umpires tonight, Rosebery, Nichols, Stevick and Jennings. They're winning the toss of the coin. And the introductions being made all around. Collingwood haven't won this competition since 1979, when the cup was probably named after a cigarette. Things have changed in many respects in society as down go Collingwood towards the Lockett end, forsaking, not their decision I'm sure, the Coventry end. Bruce?
Some things never change. You know, Heath Shaw's father was captain that night for Collingwood, Ray Shaw.
All his connections, eh? We saw Jobe Watson's dad in the opener as well, patrolling the boundary for our coverage tonight. So what a story it's been, and James Hird must feel very much like the Pied Piper, I would suggest.
He's had the perfect start, hasn't he? It means nothing in the long run in terms of the home and away.
It's interesting, Bruce. Tom, I was just looking at the two teams. Collingwood just look really relaxed. I just feel they're just kind of, this is just going into the pre-season. Essendon look much more ready to really compete like your life depends on it.
Well, there's a lot riding on it, I think, for the Essendon Footy Club. I think when you're a side like Collingwood, you can probably afford to work your way through a NAB Cup, not the Bombers.
Good luck. You're cool. Stop. Heads it is. Good luck, guys.
So Pendlebury wins the toss, Collingwood to the left. You've come from the Essendon rooms. What was the atmosphere like? I know you caught up with Bomber Thompson, your old coach, Tom. What was the atmosphere like in that room tonight?
Well, it was great. I mean, I think Essendon, let's be honest, since 2004 have only won more than 10 games once, so they need to play in big games. This is a really important thing for them. I don't know what you think, Lee, but getting that winning feeling, that winning culture into your club, particularly a young club, is exceptionally important.
Well, it's much more important for Essendon, who are trying to go from the bottom 4 up, than Collingwood, who are really just the run. They've sort of got there again on just they play good footy by habit, and they've got good structures. So they can, the days where they're emotionally absolutely at fever pitch, they will be better. I'm not sure whether they've reached that just yet at this stage of this season.
As I said a few moments back, just the one win pre-season for Collingwood in terms of the overall. By contrast, Essendon, big performers in the pre-season cup competition, 6 premierships, most recent in 2000. That night, Mark Mercury won the Michael Tuck medal. And earlier the same year, if you want to get your bearings and feel exactly where you are in the scheme of things, earlier that same year, 2000, Brendan Favola kicked 12 goals against Collingwood. So
that was a very different New Year's Eve.
It was.
I think that was a New Year's Eve game.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it earlier that year or at the end of '99?
Let's see what's happening as they go to their positions. I mean, we see the Collingwood midfield, Pendlebury and Swan. Gee, it's a question of if you're going to tag one, who do you tag out of those two these days?
You see Joe Boston there in the top left-hand corner. It's almost symbolic that he's the only Essendon midfielder highlighted there because he needs help. He needs a real chop out.
That number 23, bottom left of corner, Lachlan Keith. This is only his 3rd year of footy. He was a Queenslander. Collingwood recruited him because he'd never been a registered AFL player. Got to say, when I was at Brisbane, we tried to convince him, but he came to Collingwood and looking really good.
Expecting 50,000, not quite there yet. Start of the grand final, Bell Chambers, who was so good last week, Jolly, who was so good last season, bounces off his body. Brown taps it forward. Swan leads in the race. Jeter is closing. Took him down, spills across towards Watson, missed the target. Didac back in the action immediately. Johnson gives it to Buckley. He's a telling kick. Sends it long. McCaffer knocked away well by Hardingham. Finds the boundary. It's out of bounds.
See, that was good play by Hardingham. I thought it looked like McCaffer had him to actually hold him under the line of the ball.
Go the footy!
That's where Jeter's speed helps when you can just get there to tackle.
Yeah, and McCaffer's got a reputation for being as good at one-on-one as anyone at Collingwood. As Sidebottom's kicks are Hardingham is interesting. Tell you what's interesting, Fletcher's been given Dawes. Now, in the last couple of years, we've seen Fletcher take somebody very different to Dawes, haven't we?
Yeah.
So he's been given the responsibility of Dawes. So Hurd's asked him to play on a big guy tonight. The kick to half-back. And then Stanton around the corner. Hurley and Tarrant, that's another interesting matchup. Shaw into the back of Monfries. That's another interesting one. So the advantage taken by the player Winderlick to half-forward. And Cranberry, who's been the revelation, I think, in this pre-season march.
True to form already, Essendon, but as the ball was transitioning through the middle of the ground, Cranberry pushed up with Harry O'Brien and then was brought back in a one-on-one contest. So willingness to work as high half forwards and then beat their direct opponents back.
He's the only player in either team tonight that's on a rookie list and goes bang and hits the post.
And Essendon haven't got a spot to upgrade him unless there's a long-term injury, but he's certainly earned the chance if it comes in his pre-season.
Have to keep an eye on him at training if you're an Essendon player.
Absolutely.
Davis to himself. Runs away. Moments ago we saw the advantage of the advantage rule. Heppel, who's been a revelation, knocks it out of bounds.
Already, I was going to say, Lee, we've already seen a couple of good one-on-one contests from from a technique point of view. We saw Hardingham in the back 50 and then Heppel there. That's a coaching thing, I reckon.
Yep, good.
Jolly blocks the run of Bell Chambers. The big man touched the footy. Getting high in the air was Ball, then he lost it. Stanton missed it. Johnson had it smothered. Over the football, Watson tried to bullock his way out of there. Didac took him down. Watson slapped around the face, gets the free kick. Wants to go, played on forward of the mark.
50.
That's not right.
Forward of the mark. Not the free kick. You want to take it down there for 6? Okay.
Collingwood players have got a point here.
He hadn't come over the mark.
Yes, he hadn't.
So he's gone forward on it. He's encroached.
Well, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter.
Yeah, the umpires adjudicate he hadn't played on, so therefore...
But he was well forward of the mark, wasn't he? Because he was slapped and he ran about 3 metres. He probably backed off one.
Yeah.
And the Collingwood players reacted to that. But Joe Watson, the fairy tale star, puts it through for a goal.
Yes, it's interesting. I mean, one of the things in the pre-season I think that's been quite exciting over the years is the 9-point goals.
Yep.
But given that you've got to kick it from 50, outside 50 to get the 9 pointers, if the players got a choice, which they have this year, they're all going in closer to try and make the certainty of the 6-pointer.
Well, the only time we've spoken about, Lee, that you'd probably bang on the 9 points is to peg back a lead late in the quarter or late in the game.
Well, it is appropriate. Tim Job's father played in 3-day premierships and I think about 4-night premierships as well. Watson gets the opening goal of this NAB Cup final. So the Bombers doing the attacking early. Collingwood have had it inside the 50.
Yeah.
Quick kick by Ball, again inside 50, and Dawes in front.
Inside 50.
Going to see that more and more. The quick kick forward that the forward has to be ready for. I think that's going to more and more are we going to see that. You haven't got time to be too creative when you're in the middle of a pack. But if you're going to kick it 30 metres forward, your forwards have to be absolutely ready for that kick.
There's an interesting article on Dawes today. They talked about Dawes' ball and the fact that he takes a lot of chest marks and did it just then. So Dawes, long and high and straight. It's a goal.
I think he's an incredibly promising player, Dawes. I mean, you just think he's got so much improvement in him. What he seems to be getting is big and strong, but he's quick and agile at recovery.
And he seems to be getting comfortable in his body strength.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys who are big units but don't necessarily know how to use the...
Well, have a look at this quick kick forward. If you're going to kick it quickly forward, your teammate has to be able to read the ball quicker and better than the defender.
I just wonder whether here, if they could have... No, that's high, too high to jump up for a spot.
So Chris Dawes, 7 goals in this season's NAB Cup, including 3 against the Tigers back in round 1. Jolly, who was cast in the role of a rover at the last bounce, almost sharked the tap from Bell Chambers. Roles reversed this time. Bell Chambers had the run, won it down decisively. Over the football was Lonergan. It's bouncing around in there like a pinball, eventually kicked towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Davis.
Didn't say touched.
Heard the umpire again. 50-minute penalty. He didn't call touched.
There's a mark.
Davis plays on. Out to the right. Fletcher goes back, body to body with Dawes, off hands and across the line for a behind.
So Fletcher quickly on, and Prismal. Big night for Prismal, I reckon. He's had an up and down year last year. He's had a lot of injury problems, we know that, but he'll want to establish himself. Cranberry took a long, long time. Didn't panic though. Hocking. Back they go. Myers, long kick in the Ryder direction. Hurley made a contest, and then Ryder kicks it on, only as far as O'Brien. And then Harry runs away and kicks the ball out in front of Jolly. And Jolly, neat enough to Shaw, running hard in front of Monfries.
Peels off half-back, drives it beyond the wing. MacArthur. Oh, well done again by Hardingham. Putting a fist in there. That's the second time. Seemed to be out of position, but somehow fought a draw, and a draw in that situation for the defender, if you see, is a win.
Just saw on the bottom left there, Essendon actually getting all the hit-outs, but Collingwood dominating the clearances at this early stage.
Rollingham in the grasp, hurried kick towards the boundary line. McCarthy comes up. Swan, a clever kick with the outside of the boot. And this time Hardingham decides to grasp the nettle. And if you like the football as well, he stepped up and he took the mark. Gets a hand pass back from Prismal, comes across the ground to Hooker. Hooker's up from the back pocket. So Hooker, little chip, making it very difficult for Cranberry against quality. Terrific mark taken there by Harry O, but the kick not so flash. Bounces to Hooker, taken by Fletcher, goes back to Prismal. Prismal under pressure, squeezes a kick, gathered by Buckley. Buckley over the top to Cloak, runs on, does Buckley, goes inside the 50, back to Cloak. Both of them left footers. Cloak unloads now, that's a beautiful effort. Dropping back in the square, helped across the line by Hooker.
We often talk about the press both clubs are using. Well, let's talk a bit later about how they're trying to get out of that area.
Stanton quickly on. Howlett, Shaw. Wonderful bump by Shaw. Put Howlett out of the contest. Johnson back to Keith. Shaw picks himself up and then goes down the line. Lovely kick to McCarthy. Hardingham again, just doing enough.
Just putting himself in really good positions to influence the contest. See the Hall hit there, that's a fantastic one-on-one contest. But young Hardingham just getting where the drop of the ball is and either spoiling or forcing a turnover.
Blair, free kick. Come through, come through.
Blair getting a free kick at the stoppage.
Push out, guys, push out.
Almost as good a story as any last season, Jared Blair. Side bottom comes on a lead, creates some space, almost the mark too, but unlucky not to get a free there. Swan, Wellingham, hooks it across the body, hangs a long time in the air. No mark taken, falls in front, cracker a half chance. Well done by Myers. Under pressure, Prismal. That was a smart hand pass, so was that. Jetta back to Prismal. Out of defence, Myers goes with the right boot, not his favoured boot, but he found a teammate. And that's Winderlick, who decides to run it up with the help of Prismal. That was awkward. Prismal driving it towards half-forward. Tramry, his strength is his strength. That was good again by Tramry. Kept his man off the ball. Almost won it on the deck. Lonigan. Zaharakis, brilliantly done. Hurley, Tramry getting through his Howlett. Kicks it down towards the pocket.
Shaw chasing along with Johnson and Stanton. Johnson, Shaw. Still with Shaw and Williams.
It's interesting. You sense the trends of the game. When Essendon have been under pressure in their back 50, the 3 times that's happened, they've kicked it wide and quick. I think teams are going to say, when the press is on, you've got to get the ball out of your back 50, and even if it's a quick kick, as long as it's wide.
Hocking trying to rove it from Jolly. Quick kick by Blair. Gets it to centre wing. Dempsey. A bit of head work tonight, Dempsey. And cutting to the side of his skull there, it looks, doesn't it?
Maybe it was vandalism.
Hope he caught who did it.
He nodded off.
So Ryder, Jetta, back to Didak, to Buckley. Buckley been prominent early, he's had a good pre-season. Dawes front spot with Fletcher. Dempsey again, threads the needle to Watson, and Watson retreats, but it was the right way to go.
Hibbert across the ground then, nice kick. Myers. Now this guy's an improving player. Biggest problem, very left-sided. He gets that right boot working. He could have a very good season. Myers with the left boot. He's not bad though. That was a penetrating kick. Got there quickly, and Fletcher's getting the free. Rightly so.
I reckon you might be able to build a building in the centre square most of 2011. No one's going to go through the centre square. Everyone wants to go wide.
Here's Hibbert, who wants to go back. He drives it towards the outer side. Miscues though, Cracker. Now Brown is on. Cracker spots him. Brown has to wait. Oh, and he marks it. They were bearing down. Pendlebury. The waiting, as Tom Petty said, is the hardest part.
Well, he kicked a little bit wide, but not wide enough. I mean, the point is, if you're going to kick it blind, kick it towards the boundary. Don't kick it just outside the centre square, because Collingwood, once they retrieve the footy from that kind of play out of the back 50, there's always going to be a forward sneaking in behind.
It's a gutsy mark. He's had a couple of good years as Brown.
Its way. This is a crucial centre bounce for the Essendon Footy Club. Clearance is 8-1 Collingwood's way. If you let Collingwood get it forward in the first opportunity, it's very hard to get it back.
Richo down there with Tim Watson running the boundaries. Jim Elsham was good there. He got in front of Pendlebury, and then Watson goes to ground. Ball going to be up.
Drop your knees, went forward, looking for it. Not there. Here we go.
So let's see those clearances. Richo pointing out the advantages that Collingwood have had early. Monfries just releases it. Bell Chambers couldn't quite. Collingwood pushed forward. Oh, spectacular. Hibbert.
There's a really great setup there by Essendon. They were able to, between Myers and Hibbert, get the loose man off the stoppage, which they didn't orchestrate last year.
Slow handball by Jettergy. Hocking, a bit of fancy footwork. And then kicks to full forward. Collingwood with the numbers. Winderlick, Watson, can't quite bash and crash. Winderlick and Zaharakis cut off by Keefe. Zaharakis puts on a good tackle, a ball up.
Fine. Go through.
We often talk about tackles, but there's no real stat for missed tackles. And when Hocking stepped around, that's when Collingwood became under pressure.
Brown stood his ground. In trouble, Watson. Lonergan, rather, got a hand pass away. This is Cracker. Taken down by McVeigh. John out of there. Heppel feeds it back, still inside the centre square. Fletcher comes across the ground then. The mark is taken by Prismal at the interchange gates. Inside the forward 50. O'Brien worked under the footy by Monfries. No free kick. It bounces out of bounds and will have a throw in. Margin 7 points early going in the NAB Cup Grand Final. And the crowd just keeps on getting bigger. Close to a full house now. Marvellous stuff. The 2 old rivals, side bottom to Brown, not them. These clubs as he kicks it up towards the wing, leading back in the race is Cloak to his own advantage. If it'll sit up for him, it didn't. And Dempsey came across on the angle, did well and knocked it out.
Just had the opportunity, I felt, to actually take the ball cleanly. Then Travis Cloak wheel round on his left foot and drive it into the forward 50 for the Pies. Chose to paddle it.
So Brown, now Lonergan reading it well and belting it forward. Davis tried a one-hander. Winderlick into him. Keefe, good handball to O'Brien. She's got some footy smarts, Keefe, for a bloke that hasn't played much. Thomas.
He must have watched it on TV a lot.
Thomas, a lovely looking kick, but Hibbert cuts it. Cracker, normally constructive. Fletcher got a little Mr. Gadget arm in as he's been doing since 1993. And then Zarakis on the up to Myers. He's on the right side for him. That's his left, and then he goes long, and O'Brien read it better than Monfries. O'Brien and Ryder. O'Brien arched the back and did it brilliantly.
Davis got it from Charon. Drives it towards the outer side. Exhilarating stuff. Dawes was up. Couldn't take the mark. Thomas deftly across to Cracker. Breaks the tackle. Goes to side bottom. Side bottom spears it along the boundary. Missed by McCaffer. Picked up by Pendlebury. Side bottom kept coming. 60 metres out. Wellingham missed the mark. Well, he should have marked that one. Bill Chambers dragged down by Wellingham, but too little too late. Unless he kicks a goal here, Wellingham. He's blotted his copybook. Side bottom. His third possession down that wing. And he just misses. Oh, terrific by Steele side bottom.
Just a couple of moments there from the Essendon backs, just sucking off their opponents a little bit. They started the game with real intensity in one-on-one, but just giving them a little bit of a leg rope, those Collingwood forwards.
And Malthouse first went to Collingwood, Hurd in that year. Won the Norm Smith as the Bombers had their greatest season ever in 2000. Long bomb, not a good kick. Key front spot, free kick.
It's a long kick, but it's straight to a Collingwood player. If you're going to go long, you've got to try and outnumber the opposition at the drop of the footy.
Thomas, he's going long. Dawes, hooker from the side. Heppel, McCaffer, who's had an ordinary start. Wellingham, who missed the mark a moment ago. Gang tackled. Well done by Essendon. Dempsey running it out. Williams looked to go. He's called the play on now. Looks up. It's normally a good kick. He hooked that a bit out wide, but gave Ryder the run. Ryder makes a little bit of a meal of it. Sits up. Has to retreat, though. Back he goes. Milsham with a 1-2.
Milsham drives it down towards the attacking 50. Reaching and taking a nice mark was Winderlick. He seemed almost out of possession there, or position rather. Opposed to Davis. There's Prismal up ahead. Meantime, the ball comes across the ground to Jetta. Now this guy can kick it long. We know that. Myers kicks inside the forward 50. Now that was a chain reaction. Who gets the kick?
You pushed him, mate. No, but you pushed him very early. He actually collapsed. No, it doesn't matter. You pushed him.
So Monfries to get the kick. Three of them up. Collingwood in front. Monfries the meat in the sandwich, and that's the right call. You can see that hand on the number 6.
It's a bad mistake when Collingwood have got the 2-1 and to give away the free kick, but you know, we have a look. He's going to come inside.
Runs around, gets the goal. He's crafty near goal, Angus Monfries.
We only have a handful of games in the pre-season, but you know, you sort of sense that is this in the new season that when teams are kicking into their forward line, they keep kicking into the forward pockets. And I think that's partly to say, well, it's hard for us to get it because we're going to be outnumbered, but at least it's out wide if the opposition get it.
I think it's a huge focus on the turnover statistic, and if you turn the ball obviously close to the boundary, it's going to have less damage going the other way.
I'm watching.
He's clever, isn't he, Monfries?
He always knew he was going to do that. Try and it's amazing how much the goals open up if you can come inside 5 metres or so.
Leading goal kicker at the club with just 24. He would have been a long way down the list of Collingwood with 24 last year. I think at about number 6, Bell Chambers. Davis on his own, runs away. playing him off half-back in this pre-season. Not a good kick. Dempsey should have marked it. Swan's little handball. Cracker, free kick.
Back here. Stay there.
Played in all the pre-season. Cracker through the NAB Cup.
This is the defensive work I'm really interested in watching Essendon here. So it's a slow play, and they've got the opportunity now, the Essendon defenders, to find their direct opponents.
So Davis works it to Thomas. Thomas able to get around Howlett with some clever play, kicks to the pocket. Again, going wide to a forward pocket that Lee spoke about a moment ago, and McCaffrey takes the mark.
Of course, if you're going to have a lot of wide shots, you're going to kick a lot of long, wide behinds as well.
So again, the angle tightened a lot closer to goal with McCarthy. He was good in Perth last week, McCarthy. His only game through the NAB Cup. Hasn't been able to establish himself. I think a year or two ago he was definitely in their best 22 in their thoughts, but he's had a fragile body. Only 10 games he's played. Looks good. That helps. Coaches remember one like that.
There's nothing wrong with that goal-scoring accuracy. And one of the only flaws in Collingwood's game last year, they could average about 55% accuracy at shots at goal, but you're not going to get more than 1 out of 2 from that particular shot, but he made it work.
It's just away the numbers for Collingwood. They average, I think, 14 more inside 50s than any other competition. Just want to have a look at, sorry Dennis, just want to have a look at the way the Essendon defenders start their defensive positioning on their direct opponents. They're all one-on-one, and I reckon that's a direct directive from Mark Thompson, also Brendan McCarthy. Just beat your opponent first.
Margin 8 points then. Bill Chambers taps it down. Howlett goes after the football. Out of there by Cracker. Smothered off the boot though, so marginally out of there. Cracker goes again. Gets some distance on this one by comparison to its predecessor. Thomas knocks it down towards half forward. Pendlebury back to Thomas. That was clever. They were bearing down. Howlett's got the football. Pendlebury got him. Close to the boundary line. Hibbert under pressure. And this kick goes out of bounds on the full. Great pressure by Thomas. Outnumbered Collingwood on that occasion, but they kept on working and forced the error. Just terrific. Davis.
They've continued to do Collingwood, the Essendon, to get that extra number to the ball of the footy.
Davis with his 6th possession down towards half forward, falls in front. Worked forward by Wellingham, then he lost control of it. Ball, a lunging hand pass. Cracker knocked it forward. Down went Blair, standing his ground. Watson, they stay off him initially. Pendlebury the smother, then the release. Swan deep in the pocket. It's bouncing towards full forward. Loose ball, first back is Hardingham. Runs onto it, sets his teammate a task, and that's a terrific mark there by Cramry.
Good stuff, wasn't it, by both Cramry and Hardingham. Stanton, Thomas gets in.
Yes, he didn't have a lot of prior opportunity, but I think that's almost paying the tackle. It was a fantastic claim by Thomas.
What about this 2 lobster in the mating season, Bruce?
So Brown's awful kick forward, marked by Dempsey.
Play on.
O'Brien, big fly, couldn't quite. Hurley bangs it forward. Davis and Johnson, 2 fast runners. Davis works it. So his 7th disposal in this opening term to Tarrant. Tarrant can sit and then decides to go long to a one-on-one. Hocking, Swan, a couple of strong bodies there, and Hocking did well. Built it about.
One thing that the Collingwood defenders are doing, and Davis is leading it, is all making sure the Essendon forwards can't get behind them. So Essendon's quick kick forwards, quite often the extra Collingwood player back is holding them up.
Jolly taps it down in front. Pendlebury just having a wonderful pre-season. Touched off the boot. Blair spilt the mark. Goes after it. Watson, bit of a fumble. An inadvertent boot knocked it away. Stanton falling to the ground. Kicks towards half forward. Cramry, again very strong. Hard to bring down. Still over the football. Tried to give it out to Bill Chambers. Deft little kick on there by Ryder. Coming up was Hurley. Heppel tried to go back to Hurley. Keith did terrifically well, as Bruce did before when he sung his praises, because this young man really looks an athlete. Still can do with a bit of building up, but he's got all the bits.
He's good. Remember, Collingwood don't have Brown Brown for the season. Obviously, Nick Maxwell tonight. Ben Reid all out from their back defence last year in that grand final, that premiership. Tarrant has come in, of course. Didac wanting something to happen, kicks it to the corridor. Free kick, Collingwood. Oh no, free kick, Essendon, sorry.
Give him the option, Brett. Give him the option.
Got the option of 9.
The option.
Got the option of 9 or 6.
Surely you'd ask where's the man on the mark first, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Before you actually make that decision. Like, as it's turned out, he's having 6 from about 45 metres and he could have 9 from 50. That's when I reckon you do take the 9 chance, don't you?
Would you be able to change your mind here, Lee? Seriously?
I was gonna ask
Good
that.
question. That's a good question.
Short step and just kick from outside 50.
But he's
Yeah,
committed
the man on
himself
the
to
marks.
6.
This is
okay.
6, yeah.
So it's Hardingham who's had a fantastic opening quarter at the back end. That one, is it coming back? Nope, he misses. So in the end, he settled for a 1.
I'm not sure that's covered by the rules. If you said to the ump, can we change
I
the
change?
positioning of the man on the mark?
At what point do you have to declare it's a 9 or a 6?
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's Davis running to the pocket. Now he goes for distance around that outer side. Bill Chambers works in front. Jolly from behind. Bill Chambers got a hand to it. Then almost the crumb as well. Wellingham was in there. Once again, goal sack. Ran into a dead end. 2 Essendon players took him down.
I'll tell you what, isn't Leon Davis having fun? He's just dropping off the back of the contest, so he's on his own, letting his opponent go upfield. He's doing the kick-ins. He's had 7 or 8 possessions. He's just having a wonderful night, really.
The poor old Leon will be judged on one thing alone, won't he?
See you in September.
He can do what he
No,
likes.
the last game in September.
That's right. There's not a lot to look forward to, is there? I suppose at least your team gets to the grand final, because that's when the mob are going to be looking at you very closely. He's a terrific player. He's in there again. Great Shepherd too. Wellingham beat one, not the other. Watson was bearing down. Slapped forward on the outer side towards Hurley by Prismal. And the ball is out of bounds. Another throw in. Well, just get the feeling Essendon are relishing this situation. They're really having a go. And this is symptomatic, I think, of James Hird. They're testing themselves.
It's been a bright start. Jolly tries to bash through. Couldn't quite. Lonergan off the side of the boot. Gee, well read by Buckley. He's also had a good opening term. Kicks the ball to a 1-on-1. Myers had a bit of a kick at it and missed everything. Hardingham. Out wide. This will be interesting. Cracker and Hibberd. Cracker brings him down. Hibberd did well. Dempsey. Some clever stuff. Back to Hibberd. And then Hibberd across to 1-on-1. And Cranberry and O'Brien. Boundary throw in. Perhaps Leon Davis should think of Tom Petty. You mentioned him earlier. What did Tom Petty say?
The waiting is the hardest part, Bruce.
It's a long wait, isn't it? So, centre wing, Collingwood lead by 7.
Bill Chambers deftly hawking, hooks towards half forward. Terrific grab by Hurley. Spins around. Jetta is headed back towards the goal square. Well, Leon's got the job in front of him and did it magnificently. Clever check short of the ball and went and found it. To Shaw running up the ground. Suddenly they're on the move. Kick to midfield. Good mark taken by Dawes behind the play. Shaw and Ryder. And umpires over there. Meantime, loose is McCarthy. They've taken it end to end after Davis's good work. Side bottom misses. That was worthy of a goal, what Davis did at the defensive end.
Boys are okay. Fletcher long. Davis. Stanton. Got down low. Lonergan. Had to hurry the kicks in. A lot of it so far. Ryder pretty clever. Winderlick. Well done ball. And McCarthy side bottom. Quarter time. And a fast pace as you'd expect on a beautiful night. Collingwood lead by 8 points in the NAB Cup final. It's 14-22 on Friday Night Footy. Collingwood lead by 8 points in the NAB Cup Grand Final here at Etihad Stadium. Big crowd in attendance. It's been a terrific opening term. Hocking and also Myers. Myers kicks forward. Cranberry is good in a contest. He takes on 3-4 Collingwood players. They rob him in the end. side bottom, and Buckley to Shaw, and then Davis. So a 10th disposal coming up for Leon Davis, and a good one. And Dawes has been as good a forward as anybody on the ground so far in this match.
Towards left half forward, penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Cloak was up, knocked it down. Dempsey did well in a tight situation. They bring it away. McVeigh got it from Stanton. Kicks towards the outer side wing. Winderlick in front of us at Hurley. Hurley knocked it forward. Davis, though, combining on the outer side with two other teammates, and they needed three of them. And in fact, they coughed it up anyway. They had the numbers. They pay the price. A little casual. Cramry has been a star in the pre-season. Wheels around, kicks inside the forward 50. And there's Winderlick.
Harry, here it is. Harry. Thank you.
Winderlick, the man on the mark just inside the 50. Very short down. It would have been 15. Terrific by Tuvey. Haven't heard that too often tonight, so that suggests he hasn't had the ball too often. Buckley, ball outside the defensive 50.
Squeezy kick. Cracker's mark, a good one. And then Cracker keeps it down the line to Shaw, who ran on hard. Shaw, Johnson to 50. Harding and big fly. He's a defender at the moment, though. And the ball came to Cloak, to Didak. Didak's handball. Back to McCaffer. Back to Didak. Tries to get around. Gets a neat little kick. Pendlebury. Wonderful contest. Fletcher came in from the back. Hocking tries to buy some time and space. And the Bombers go to the corridor. Gone. Not quite. Terrific tackle. That forward pressure from side bottom. And then Heppel try to ride it, and he can't. And Collingwood has got him.
Tell you what, there
Wait, Mark. Settle now.
A couple of great
Take it high.
defensive lessons there. Hardigan, if he's going to fly like that, he's got to influence the contest. And if you bring the ball back into the corridor out in from defence, you've got to make sure you're nice and clean against the Pies.
Jolly won the battle of strength.
Stay out. Stay
Gave
there.
away a free
Play
kick.
on.
Heppel gets it from Bell Chambers. Comes towards the interchange gates. Ryder missed it. Ball Collingwood behind. Tuvey picks it up, then lost control of it. Cramry over the football. Over him is side bottom. This ball slow to release. Trickles out to Pendlebury. Brilliant. Laid it into the path of Davis. That was like the Iditarod. He dragged Hocking along behind him. It's on the 50 now. Taken by Tuvey. He was dispossessed. He goes again. Well done by Hocking. Spring heel jack, but the kick went nowhere. Keith knocks it down to Pendlebury. Tough in there. Kicks down towards full forward. Bounces across the face of goal. Cracker. He's dangerous. Brilliant side step along the ground. Goal.
He's going to be a really good addition to Collingwood. They've got a really good 25 or 30 anyway. He just adds another really good player. He just looks so much a better player after those few years away from the AFL. He just looks much more mature, much better.
Just has great clean hands. We saw a mark of Cracker down on the half-back line before. Just clunked it, one grab. And obviously very adept below his knees. Just see your technique. He got down very low, clean, one step, goal. I think Hooker could have had a stronger attack on the ball there. He came in as a big guy, 6'5", against obviously
They
Cracker.
both looked at the footy, didn't they?
So Collingwood double the score at the moment. Essendon have woken the beast a bit, and they've put the pressure on. Beautiful mark early. So that quick kick forward to a contest.
But it's really been a number of years since forwards are expecting the quick kick. So it's almost a re-education that if you're forward of the footy, particularly at the centre bounces, I mean, you just got to get the ball in there quick, put the defence under pressure.
A bit of the old firm Watson McVeigh getting forward. He has a presence early, doesn't he? He really does. You feel like he could be an influential player at Essendon over the next decade. A real go-to man, straight through the middle.
They're hanging in there, Essendon. I mean, it's a good game. It is a really good game of footy. Both teams are pressing up to keep the ball in their forward line best they can, but nevertheless, it's flowing. There's a bit of space, and it's a really good high-intensity game.
race and done some zigzagging. He's got his right knee fairly heavily strapped. He then sat back down and had a good chat to the doctor and physio. They were talking for a good minute, and then he sat back down on the bench. So not sure where he's at with it.
On the way down, Bill Chambers wins the tap. Melksham coming off the line, met by a lot of Collingwood players, gets a free kick. That was clever.
Stopped.
Melksham not taking possession.
Stay there. Play on.
Melksham goes across the ground, missed by Stanton, backing him up McVeigh. McVeigh, punishing kick inside the forward 50. Hurley again. Shades of Paul van der Haar. Turns around, goes in short. Williams remains stationary initially, just jabs it forward, but holding the ball, he had it too long. Plays on immediately. Johnson, Collingwood bring it out of defence then, towards the wing. Dawes had a big fist on that from behind. Made it very difficult. Hooker gets it back from Melksham. Melksham again, 75 metres out, sets it up. Hurley in front, gets a free kick this time.
Yeah,
wow.
Like him as a player. He's only in his third year, Hurley, but he almost reminds me of a young Nick Riewoldt. The way he just attacks the ball in the air. As soon as the ball is in the air, he's not looking at the body, he's just looking to go at the footy. He's really impressive for a young player.
And what that does when you're downfield with the ball, it gives you great confidence to kick the ball to him. So you see him charging at it, gives real presence, straightens you up and launches at the ball.
Keeps the defenders on their toes as well. It's going to be physical. Maybe that comparison with Paul van der Haar wasn't too exaggerated. This one's short. That wasn't a good kick. But nevertheless, that was a lot of work, so maybe he's just feeling the effects of that. He competed in 3 consecutive competitions, 2 of them at opposite sides of the ground. Shaw, big leap by Thomas across the line. You think back to those great days with van der Haar at centre half forward and Mark Harvey off a flank.
I played one game, Dennis, when van der Haar played on Peter Knight. They took about 12 marks each, playing on each other.
They had forwards in those days, Essendon, who really were aggressive, weren't they? They were terrific.
So Swan from the stoppage. Dawes. McCarthy, well done. Inside to Pendlebury. Cut off by Hocking. Pendlebury's little toe poke. Jetta quite so far tonight. Good pre-season. Swan cut it off. Melksham very good. McCarthy holds his ground. Goes to ground. Pendlebury on the up. Hocking back with Swan. Bouncing footy. Jetta. Hurley. Handball ineffective. Shaw. It's a fast game. Well done, Essendon.
And that's the essence of the pre-season. Their numbers of the footy, numbers against the opposition guy with the footy.
Prismal, Ryder at the back, Monfries, Jetta, only as far as Davis, and Davis to his captain for tonight, Pendlebury.
Pendlebury to Blair, read that beautifully, set it up for that hand pass really. Johnson cruising through midfield, needs to kick it now. This will be interesting. Cloak and Fletcher. Cloak stayed on his feet, tracks the football, goes into an open goal and gets it.
Been able to hold Collingwood, haven't they? Every time you get a bit of a sense that the Bombers are really lifting their intensity and driving the ball forward. A great offensive tackle by one of the Essendon forwards, but just can weather the storm. That's an experience thing, I guess, playing in high intense games.
Well, they play really good keeping job too, Collingwood. When they got the footy, they don't give it back. They're really good with their efficiency of disposal. One-on-one under the footy DB. Fletcher, I think Fletcher knew he was out position and he kind of shouldn't have gone to ground, because once he went to ground he was out of it, but I got a feeling he might have thought maybe I can draw the free kick.
So Cloak and Dawes, a couple of power forwards with a goal in each of the opening. Well, one to Dawes in the opening quarter, one to Cloak a moment ago. Dempsey held up again. Collingwood's tackling so impressive. Brown sweeps it forward. Wasn't a great handball. McCarthy goes back to Wellingham, and then Wellingham from outside. It's a 6-pointer apparently. I think it's a goal. It is a 6 points.
Yes, they've mainly looked to go wide out of defence, Essendon, but every time they've tried or they've had to come up the centre corridor, they've almost turned the ball over, or then I think it was Dempsey who actually came off the back of the centre square. But the Collingwood tackling pressure as soon as you start coming anywhere near the centre corridor so often creates that forward half turnover and a shot at goal.
Get a good look at it here. On the line 6.
Yeah, every part of your foot has to be behind the line, that's the rule.
So the margin out to 19 points now. Biggest lead of the game. So a testing time here for the Bombers. Bell Chambers improving every week this season. Down went Wellingham, or rather Pendlebury. Hocking gave it across to Watson, who steadies the ship and goes back to Stanton. Stanton up from half back. Margin was 8 points at quarter time. Well, Stanton obviously thought that Nick Davis was about to change teams, I think. Pendlebury's got it. It's a poor kick by Stanton. Didak, first game this season. The star he was late last year. Across the ground, finds O'Brien in the defensive 50. Now, where will he go next? Plenty of Bombers in the centre square. So he just chips in short. Davis another possession. Just racking them up at the moment. That's not a good kick either, though. Stanton, a chance to make amends. Riders on the move, thought about it. Cramry wouldn't be a bad option up against Cracker. You back his strength. He kicks wide of Cramry, goes to the pocket. That seems to be the name of the game. Trying to hook it down behind was Ryder. Hurley only as far as Cracker. Falling to the ground, did well. Hand passes to Pendlebury. Runs to the defensive 50. Drives it along the boundary. Taken by Didak from well outside the boundary. Finds the leading player in ball, who hasn't seen a lot of the footy tonight.
Did well there, Collingwood.
Move it on, play on!
Kept their head under pressure. A couple of accurate kicks in tight situations. Dawes clears the pack. Fletcher, Stanton, Dempsey, poor handball, missed Winderlick. Cracker got down low with Bell Chambers. Side bottom. Side bottom's handball to a contest. Pendlebury clever over the back of the head. Side bottom, how quick that was. To Didak, to Ball. And then Ball on the left side. Is that out on the full? No, McCarthy. Just thinking a moment ago if there's an injury there to Hibbert, is it? Yep.
He came in from a long way in the marking contest, I think you find, Brewster. Launched from about 5 or 6 deep. He might have caught one of the ribs.
I was thinking a moment ago, here it is with... I'll keep thinking a moment ago.
Right
There's Dawes. But I'll get back to that, Den. I'll say it. If Davis wins the Tuck medal, there'll be some beautiful irony in that. Now, at the moment, he'd be favourite.
Yes, he's going beautifully. Hibbert not so beautifully. Here's Hocking. Cross half back. So for the moment, at least, the Bombers looking to take some of the sting out of this. Goes around Tuvey on the mark, then kicks for distance. Momfries props in front of O'Brien, but somehow they change positions in flight. Well done, O'Brien. Side bottom charged down by Hurley. Sure it was, he gave it across to him. Hurley finds the football. Cramry dragged down. Back it spills to Hurley. Hurley kicks inside the forward 50. Oh, terrific by Davis. It looked to all intents and purposes that Momfries was going to get that football, and Davis, with the instincts of a forward, went past him to the football and knocked it out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
Good stuff. Ryder over the top of Brown. Pendlebury couldn't get an effective kick away. And then Goldsack back to Brown. Brown to a contest. Didak. And that's out of play. He looks sharp enough, doesn't he? Didak, Goldsack, the two playing for Collingwood that haven't played in the NAB Cup so far. And the two coaches at other ends, one knowing that it's his last year as coach at Collingwood and one in his first year at Essendon. So Mickey Malthouse.
Yeah, heard he's in the first of his 3 or 4 year honeymoon period, according to me.
You'd take that as a coach, 4 years, wouldn't you?
4 year honeymoon's going good.
Thomas out wide. And now Shaw running hard and then hooking back brilliantly to Dawes.
Lee touched on it before, talking about Collingwood's ability to keep the ball off the opposition. We all admire their intensity around the footy, sometimes at the expense of acknowledging that they are an exquisitely skillful side, Collingwood. Let's look at this kick here, just brings it back, saw him out the corner of his eye. Perfect.
Got to have an imagination to be a great player, don't you? And Shaw showed plenty of that there. Dawes, we've talked a lot about him so far tonight. He was a powerful force in September last year. That is hugging the line and hitting the post.
Fletcher off a step to the pocket. Bombers under pressure. Heppel kicks short of the wing. Bill Chambers, he's been good. Popped in front, took the mark, plays on immediately. Myers, a little bit of a fumble. As a result, he's under pressure, smothered by Dawes. Walked across the line by Tooby.
He had to kick it half a step earlier. He had the chance to kick it, but he wanted to be more creative. And the Collingwood tackling pressure always shuts that down very quickly.
Dawes off the ground immediately after that smother. Spent. Jolly knocked it down. Ball went to ground. Came back to him. Over the top, McVeigh. Made it tough in there. Ball up. Tim.
David Hill has just taken the sub's jacket off, so it looks like he's about to be activated.
Come on, boys.
So Hill, who hasn't played at all in this NAB Cup series.
Just dropped it.
So Blair getting it off Lonergan. He's a beauty, Blair, isn't he? Kicks inside the 50. Collingwood outnumbered, but a terrific contest.
Just so predictable to each other, Collingwood. Blair chose to go round along the boundary. See the ball be driven in.
Cracker quickly on Swan. He's a strong Swan, this one, isn't he?
Yeah.
He sort of half mugged Winderlick, didn't he? And then boots it through, and Collingwood get away.
He has really become he's a goal-kicking midfielder, which is they're invaluable if you get those players. And Bruce touched on it just before. He's got genuine body strength to see it in and around the contest at a stoppage or a clearance. But to get him in a one-on-one marking contest, and he's just as valuable.
Well, that goal was set up by Andrew Cracker's front and square, won the free kick and then did the predictable thing, put it to the top of the square. He's a perfect fit for Collingwood. They're a predictable team. He's the best front and square crummer I've played with. They're just a great fit.
So the margin out to 26 points now. David Hill back in the action, up very high, got his fingertips to it. It fell in front. Lonergan, Prismal under that pack. Lonergan eventually kept it alive. Well done. Gave it to Watson. Too high for Melksham. Leading back in the race, Thomas sliding in on the angle. Ojeda did brilliantly. Hardingham is the reply here for the Bombers. Kicks it long towards the pocket. Shaw. Battle of strength. And too strong for Monfries. Looking to drive it outside the defensive 50. Prismal outnumbered, but does brilliantly. Falling to the ground, gave it to Jetta. O'Brien should mark. Well, between the two of them, they messed it up. Cremery got a boot to it and kicks it out of bounds. Now there's a post-mortem. O'Brien and Shaw just having a chat. Cremery is an amazing story. Again, bobbing up as the opportunist. A half chance there. Almost bringing up a score. Pendlebury, Wellingham, Johnson missed the football. Shaw, Prismal out of bounds. I can't imagine too many players who have been rookie listed making such a strong case to be included in the first game, but Cremery looks like he's going to be out of luck.
No spot.
Bombers pressing here, but they're 4 and a bit goals behind. Goldsack, late inclusion for Reid. Back at Kane. Hibbard with a chance from about 60. Coming back. Good goal. Well, no, sorry.
Close.
Good point. So Hibbard just missing. Just a moment ago, Lee. Swan at one end takes a one-on-one mark, kicks the goal. Short, the other end takes a one-on-one mark.
That's just winning contest. That's the basics of footy. You've got to be able to win contests, and Collingwood do it so well.
So away goes Shaw. Got a fantastic second term. Shaw runs his full measure and goes bang with a long one.
They've got the numbers on the outer side too. It was a beautiful kick. McCaffer, standing start. Brown missed it. Opportunity behind. The spillage came across towards the little man. Does well, Swan to his own advantage. couple of soccer kicks, then left it for Cracker, out of trouble but into more trouble. Watson initially was beaten. Fletcher applied the tackle. Footy came back to Watson, jetted to Hocking, through midfield. Running hard is Blair, almost got him. Hocking under a degree of pressure, kicks towards the pocket. Leading back and taking it across the line is Cramry.
It's interesting, Tarrant's off the field, he's their new big defender. Reed's not there, Nathan Brown's injured, and Nick Maxwell and Collingwood are still in control in the air down there.
The Bombers, Winderlick down low, Tuvey good tackle. Essendon having trouble too at the moment when they're going into the 50. They're panicking a bit. McVeigh, Wellingham with a twisty turn. Dawes, what a contest again. Couldn't quite hang on. Hooker, Stanton brilliant down low. Well played. Howlett controls the kick. Monfries and O'Brien. Wonderful contest. Harry played it brilliantly. Goldsack paddles it. Well, I think James Hird finds out a bit about his team tonight.
From Essendon's point of view, their Paddy Ryder short. His height has been no value at the moment down there.
Knocked forward by Jolly. Jetta, did he have the football? Not according to the umpire. Shaw runs away, and the umpire right there, about 5 metres away, umpire Stevick. Thomas, meantime, to Johnson, too nimble for Hill. Slips it back to Thomas, involved earlier. Runs the outer side, little chip kick nicely done. McCaffer, the confidence on the rise for the Magpies. Didak, down towards half forward, terrific grab. The more you see it, Chris Dawes, the more there is to like. He plays on to the middle, although that's not the spot for it. Jolly has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to beat. Hibbert comes away, kicks it back towards the wing. Lonigan, dragged down by Ball, spills to McVeigh, slips away, gets a hand pass across to Hibbert. Hibbert under pressure, kicks down towards half forward, in front O'Brien. But they've got the man standing off. That's Tarrant to Goldsack.
And Goldsack very wide, half a miss kick, well done ball. I reckon Collingwood's last 10 minutes, Lee, has just been fantastic.
Their defence is fantastic. They've got 2 or 3 of their first choice defenders out, and their back 6 is still more than adequately handling Essendon.
Buckley running hard. I wonder if he can force his way into this team on a regular basis. And Jolly just gets rid of his man in Myers. And it's like the men against the boys just at the moment.
I know it is. Now, it's the Essendon have been sort of at the game for most of it, but just the class of Collingwood, I mean, to win the contest. You mentioned when Swan marked one-on-one, then Shaw marked one-on-one in defence, and that is just a total bigger body, out-positioned, contested mark.
He's normally pretty accurate, this guy. He's a lucky charm. Went to Sydney, they won a premiership in the first year. Went to Collingwood, won a premiership in his first year, and there he just hugs the line and hits the post. Darren Jolly. You'd want to recruit him, wouldn't you, Dennis? I mean, every time he comes, you win a flag.
Yeah. Terrific player, isn't he? I mean, he's not so much about his game. After a slow start last year, and there might have been a few doubting Thomases, but there wasn't a doubting Mick. Opportunity here for Stanton. Applies a strong tackle on Davis. Pendlebury taken down by Lonigan. McVeigh taken high, and he'll get the free kick.
Just need a goal, the Bombers here. I know it's obvious, but one goal here before half-time really helps.
Yeah, Hurley got a couple there in the middle of the quarter, but none of their other forwards have just been able to look like getting it.
Myers goes along the boundary line, in fact, across the boundary line, out of bounds on the full. Just saw James Hird there. He'll be inducted into the Bombers Hall of Fame on Tuesday night. Now, I guess if they win tonight, he could be in the midst of controversy, player or coach. It'll take a good effort as a coach from here to win this. Kick along the boundary line, on the lead, coming up Cloak. Wonderful courage by the young man Heppel. That was terrific. James Hird learned about his young man there, the man taken at number 8 in the draft. Meantime, Wellingham, it's almost unstoppable. Collingwood come forward again. Knocked down in front. Ball terrific. Cloak. Pendlebury wants his left side, hooks towards goal. Thomas almost, he was tackled in midair. He'll get the free kick.
It's a great play by Thomas because he took off early in the marking contest and forced the issue there. Goes early, takes Lonigan's spot. Didn't he come of age last year, Thomas? Always so much ability, but that hard edge to his game.
In the big stuff, Bruce.
Yeah.
Problem for Lonergan there was that Thomas didn't take the mark. He was hanging off him, but it spilt, so he got done.
You look at the cup, Pendlebury and Thomas as two very good players who look like about to become exceptional.
So the Bombers outplayed in the second term. And half-time here in the NAB Cup final. Chris Tarrant, just a little injury concern. Swan took a wonderful mark and kicked the goal from basically the goal square. So Collingwood really showing their worth in the second half of that second term and putting a space in Essendon, but a lot to look forward to. James Hird coming up at half-time with Tim Watson. It's 48-22. Friday night footy, NAB Cup final.
We just see the matchups there. We spoke about Hurley just before Tarrant. So Tarrant really needs to impose himself on the game. He's got the key forward now, with Hurley being the dominant Essendon forward. So good opportunity for Chris Tarrant to really reinforce his.
And we see Darren Jolly there. I think he's pretty much dominated the rucks. Ryder hasn't been able to get himself in the game, and Bell, Chambers and Hill either.
Hill has to stand under this one.
Over again.
The umpire wants it back. Well, it didn't go outside the circle, but umpire Stevic, an experienced umpire now, and a good one.
Here we
Do
go.
it again. Second time around, they simply toss it up. Jolly and Hill. Hill hooks it down, intended for Watson. Ball was there with him step for step, hacked forward by Collingwood. Up comes Hooker, knocks it to Hardingham. Right half back, kicks it up towards the wing. Hill, he does that very well, the way he peels off centre and comes out wide as a target. He tries to knock it on, gains about 10 metres, I guess, and a boundary throw in.
Hill came on Lee. Mark Williams went off as substitute. Had no impact tonight, Mark Williams. So
No.
Do you think he could have a season-ending injury, Lee?
Is that
Mark Williams.
he might? Sure,
He doesn't know it
to
yet.
do with it. Yeah.
So Watson goes to ground, forced down Tuvey to Blair.
I think Mark Williams' very best football was when he played with it's like the 6 foot full forward, leading off the full forward line. He's really good at that, but those kind of full forwards, when they happen to push upfield, aren't really appropriate in the modern game all of a sudden.
You would feel he needs to impact early this year, Mark Williams, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, to force his way into Essendon's
Like an
first
attempt. Thanks.
choice team, which I don't think he is right now.
So he sits it out with Collier at the moment for the Bombers. Beams and Wood, the two substitutes, not used for Collingwood. Jolly wins an easy tap. Swan, Winderlick, side bottom, dropped it down the end. Well done, Stanton. And then Watson looking for Monfries. Back to McVeigh, all in close quarters. McVeigh spirals it forward. Good contest by Ryder that time. Cremery again. Tuvey did pretty well. The tackling brilliant, throwing it out Winderlick. That tackle a little too high.
Not much question about that one.
Thanks,
So
Leon.
Jetta, no
Stay there. You're on the mark.
impact yet.
Against players like Jetta and probably to a lesser extent Williams, there's not really a spot in each side for the burst, forward who has 5 or 6 possessions. You've got to continually be involved in the game, and that's why Leroy Jetta was so good last week against the Saints.
Alwyn Davey, of course, to come back hopefully earlier rather than later, as that small forward Jetta missing. So Hurley's missed in the second term, a bit costly that one also. Essendon must take their chances tonight. They're 3-5. That was their score at half-time in that 1990 Grand Final. And do you know what? They were 2 goals to a quarter-time. It's weird how things like that happen. Dennis, is it a full moon?
It's weird, Bruce. It's weird that you remember them.
Yeah, that's what I thought at the time.
There's Buckley. Buckley short of half-back. We're glad you do, though. Now,
I was at that game and I can't remember those scores at quarter-time and half-time, Bruce.
You were too busy having a fight. I was going to say, Lee was far more placid this
I was
quarter
breaking
time.
them up at quarter-time, if you don't mind.
So Buckley, I thought for a moment was going to lose the football, having played on out of bounds, but that wasn't the call. So he kicks it out of defence. Dawes again just came in front, as he always does. Off his hands, though. Hooker, his immediate opponent, kicks back inside the forward 50, and Keith simply reaches across the top and knocks it out of bounds. But Essendon won't be unhappy about that. And the boys talking about Williams moments ago, and in the lead up to the passage of play that led to them talking about it, Cramry still underlining his case because he was able to hold the ball in again. He gets in and dirty. Monfries Davis, silky, very silky, very ambitious. Comes to Hawking, who snaps a goal. Too much silk.
Don't give away a free kick. Don't give it away.
That was interesting, you know, when I saw Leon Davis do that. I thought, the Collingwood kicking that right of screen, because the way he came back inside is what a forward would do to open up the goals. I mean, really, the tackling pressure makes it very hard for a defender to do that.
So a bit of a blue there. Actually, the Bombers did to Collingwood what Collingwood normally do to the opposition. The tackling there was fierce in their forward 50, wasn't it?
And he gave them every opportunity to get tackled too then, Leon Davis.
Didn't he?
So Hocking gets the goal. Essendon get a bit closer. Long bomb by Hairbird. Well done again, Cranberry. But Zaharakis, no impact so far. Poor handball. Wellingham back to Davis. Thomas running hard at halfback and then measures the kick. Dawes almost impossible to beat him one-on-ones. What an avenue to attack. Here's McCarthy to Cloak, the other big guy out forward, and then Cloak with that left foot, but that's a poor kick.
I got a feeling Zaharakis is not sure whether he's tagging Leon Davis or whether he's trying to get the footy. At the moment, I think he's somewhere in between. He's certainly concerned about Davis' offence.
Hill and Jolly fell in front. Howlett under pressure. Wellingham, or rather Buckley, takes the mark. Buckley about 55 metres out from goal. Now this is not beyond him.
Wouldn't have been beyond another Buckley that used to play for Collingwood, either.
No. At least of Jetta's worries. There goes the kick from Buckley. It's going to be pretty close. It's a goal. This kid can kick a footy. We like him, Bruce. 9-pointer.
Yes, we're into the last game before round one, and he's still in the Collingwood team. Albeit a 26-man team, but obviously came over from Melbourne. Melbourne let him go, basically.
Yeah.
And he's at least on the fringe of the Collingwood best team.
Well, I mean, if you're looking to make an imprint in the pre-season as a fringe player, he's done that. He's given himself absolutely every opportunity to play in round one.
So just one game at Melbourne in 2009, no games at Collingwood in 2010. Just the 14th 9-pointer for this season. I mean, we basically get 37 up to about 40 generally, so there haven't been many of them.
Well, when they've had the option, they haven't taken it, have they? So most players have been pretty conservative of their...
So the Crows hierarchy, they played against Richmond today. Neil Craig in the middle there. And the Bulldogs underneath, so with Rocket Eade, so Neil Craig and Rocket Eade.
I wonder if they're sharing notes.
I wonder if Rocket wants to come off contract.
Well, I was going to say, the Adelaide coach is in a better position to look at the notes anyway.
Here's Thomas running hard and then goes to full forward, a dangerous spot. Hardingham did really well, but Crackle kicking second. Front and centre, what did Richo say? None better at the Tigers. Well, he's in a Collingwood jumper now.
He's in the best spot. He's in the best spot.
Just saw Kyle Hardingham. I think he's made some really good decisions when the ball's in the air, but a couple of times it hasn't really influenced the contest. So he's got to where the ball is.
Didn't take the mark, didn't punch.
Correct, yeah. So just a couple of times. I guess, I mean, he's a young enough player learning his defensive craft that he can get better with that, but I'm sure James Hurd and the coaches will pick that up for him.
Yeah, we see Hardingham here, leaps, opponents on the ground. Went third up, but just didn't take it. Now, if that was you, Tom, you would have taken them up when you went third up.
I would have liked to have thought so, but I think have a look at where, like Richo said about Cracker.
The Essendon players...
Boys, the score stands as it was.
Score stands. Okay. Yep. All right, boys. Let's go. Score stands. Go.
Just back on Cracker, Richo made the point that he's never seen a better front and square player, and he just got to the spot at the right time, hit it like to perfection.
So getting the all clear from the Geesh. Jeff Geeshan. Ball up. I would imagine the problem there was, or the discussion was it touched off the boot? I didn't see the umpire. Did you, Bruce, make the square?
Well, the Geese doesn't get it wrong.
No. Or if he does, we'll never know. Pendlebury. Ball kicks inside the forward 50. Reaching over the top was Fletcher. Getting back quickly was Hooker. Hand pass to no one in particular. Fletcher helps it on its way towards the boundary. Hardingham comes across and knocks it out of bounds.
That's what I like about Dawes. We know he's a big, strong man, but he competed in the air, but then he was almost first to the footy when it ran away from the marking contest.
Well, he just emerged at the end of last year, didn't he? I mean, we knew he had talent, but he was a pivotal player in the finals, and confidence now, an amazing thing with him, so you can expect a really stellar season. Side bottom inside the forward 50. Falls in front. McCarthy a half chance. Myers in trouble. Follows the footy. Jetta thought he had it. Didn't. Sliding in there was Lonigan. And that's a pretty ugly pack, and the umpire will ball it up.
See the tackling inside 50. 9-5 in favour of Collingwood. They've made that stat their own.
Oh.
So right up really high, and then William kicks a high ball. Fletcher and Cloak. Ball just eluded him. Back he goes. Thomas had to backtrack and then cleverly tries a check side from the pocket across the face at the back two, around the side bottom. Almost the mark there to Johnson, was it?
Hit the ground. Hit the ground. Hit the ground.
So Johnson coming up to the forward line. You can see Essendon's forward line. There is nobody there. Could have taken it side bottom, decided not to. Boundary throw in.
Long way back for the Bombers. Side bottom. Speaking of players who had wonderful final rounds, he too was a star. Lonigan tracks it back towards his own defensive goal and gets away. Sends it outside the 50 on the bounce. Keith stayed on his feet. Davis, will-o'-the-wisp, kicks back inside the forward 50. Good mark by Lonigan. Cracker went to ground. Pendlebury out-muscled.
One of the few occasions we've seen a Collingwood player outmarked in a one-on-one situation.
Lonigan, driving kick, well short of the wing. Up in front was Hurley. Melksham met pretty solidly. Down he goes. And the umpire will ball it up.
Michael, settle down.
So Collingwood tightening the noose at the moment. Howlett brought down. Davis, good tackle, Melksham. Davis was going down, wanting a high one.
On the ball. You've got to make an attempt. Play on, you've got to make an attempt.
So Melksham, low kick. Jetta went early.
Push.
So centre wing. Back to Stanton. Stanton, good kick off 1 foot and finds Monfils. Clever mark. Stanton realised he had to get the ball there quickly, and he did. Kicked a goal in the other pocket in the opening term. There's the holding the ball against Davis.
Yeah, that's where he just sort of didn't really make enough of an attempt once he was lying over the footy.
Well, these are worth their weight in gold, aren't they? Tucked away in the pocket, small forward, goal kicking forward. She struck it well. It's a lovely kick. He's kicked two. Bombers needed it. He's a hard matchup, isn't he? He's a good player.
Well, he's good overhead. He's only, well, in the old language, we're less than 6 foot, but he's good overhead. Good mark of the footy. It's the ability of him, of Monfils, for a player of his size to get enough footy at ground level. I think that's his Achilles heel.
And the mail is, I mean, that no one prepares him better than Angus Monfils does at Essendon. But doesn't have the tank to play through the midfield, so he's sort of limited in that half-forward role. Just watch Tuvey come in here. It's always a really difficult one for the defender because they can't make contact really front on. He's probably done it as well as he possibly could. But great finish from Angus Monfils.
Margin 28 points then. Jolly out of the middle. High ball inside the forward 50. Spare man is back. Hardingham takes the mark. Jack of all trades, Hardingham. Now Myers will want his left side. Wouldn't go down the line that time. Kicks with his left again. Perhaps could have gone to the boundary with the right boot. But still, Buckley. Hand passes down towards half forward. Dawes. Didak. Over the top, Swan. runs inside the 50, measures the kick. Well, not sure what he was doing there. And Fletcher going back on ground, takes the mark. Play on's the call. 2-on-1 to the outer side. Sidebottom just stepping between the pair, conceding the mark to Heppel. Heppel, not a good kick coming out. He's learned a fair bit tonight, that young man. We saw a wonderful example of his courage earlier. Hocking went to ground. In goes Thomas, ridden into the ground by Lonergan. And the umpire is giving Thomas a free kick. That was careless by Lonergan.
So they extricate themselves from the mark. Thomas uses Shaw. Shaw back to Dawes. Big fly. Hibberd belts it away. He's done it a bit tonight. Been under pressure. First-year player, but he's done okay. Heppel, the only player out there from the national draft last year. Hibberd picked up in the pre-season draft. So Collingwood with Keith, no games at the AFL level. Hibberd and Heppel for the Bombers. Quick kick by Swan. What an accumulator he is. He's much more than that. He's a wonderful, wonderful player. Myers, high, centre wing. Hill, couldn't quite. Well done, Hurley. Zaharakis might get a lucky break.
We've got an interchange.
That's an interchange free kick.
We've got an interchange breach, free kick and 50-metre penalty.
9 or 6, 9 or 6.
You take 9 or 6. Yep.
Have a crack at 9.
Well, you'd have to think about having a crack at 9,
Free
wouldn't
kick,
you?
50 metres.
At this stage of the game.
Ready? About 15 out, mate.
Yes, you've got to look for that man with the orange flag near the interchange fence. When something happens, you think, what the hell is happening here?
Interchange free kick.
Got a lot more players to manage, obviously, in the NAB Cup. So Zaharakis, quiet night, but he does get a goal.
I'll take that decision back. I think if you can get a 6-pointer from 15 metres out, I think you probably take that one. Yeah, the free kick and the 50-metre penalty. A lot of players going on and off. Going to happen every now and again, that interchange infringement, unfortunately.
So
Here we are. Who's on, who's off? 1 off. 2 off, 3 off. Okay. Yeah. The interchange steward is saying, I don't think yeah.
Well, it begs the question. We've got the substitute rule coming in for the season proper. Already Essendon at 94 interchanges, Collingwood 87. I'm not sure that the substitute's going to alleviate the high rotations.
Yeah, but you got 6 interchanges tonight, Tom. It's a bit different at the moment.
Okay.
Over the top hill, Lonergan trying to squeeze it out, taken though by Swan, kicks it towards half forward, spills inside the 50. McCaffer tries to direct it to Brown. Well done by Myers, works his way in front. A bad angle initially on the football, but then made it look okay. Had the boundary with his socker, and eventually it just trickles over the line. Price paid there by
Another interchange free kick.
What?
Against
Who's it
Collingwood
for?
again. Right there. And 50.
Another one against Collingwood.
Someone's in trouble down there. Now, they've had a few problems in the past. We don't name names here because, well, we don't know them. But the man who's manning the interchange for Collingwood will be subject of an inquest from the coach, I'm sure. Probably those unruly players that did him in. There's Swan outside the 50. Untidy. Howlett under real pressure. Goldsack trying to get out. Winderlick works his way in front. Myers kicks inside the forward 50. Bit of a rally here from Essendon. They're trying very hard. Collier in front. Ball fell at his feet. Jolly towering over him. Winderlick emerges with the football. Wellingham under pressure. Boot to ball, but it's coming back. Hibberd's got it.
I reckon you're right, Dennis. Bombers just having a real crack here. Got it back to a 4-goal game. Goldsack's fly. Tuvey squeezes. McCaffer had a quiet night. Poor handball. Watson too slow. Well done. McCaffer back to Davis. Back to Goldsack. Measures it. Heppel made the contest. Brown stood his ground. Didak was thinking so quickly. He was thinking of that little give there. Knew he was going to get it back. Caresses it forward. 1-on-1. Fletcher, well done. How old is he? 35, about to turn 36. Stanton out wide. Thanks for that, Dennis. Now McVeigh at half-back. Off he goes.
Around the outer side, McVeigh finds Hill. Chris, I knew you'd know the answer. Hill goes down towards the pocket. Keefe on the angle. Didn't touch the footy and it runs out of bounds.
I was just watching the Collingwood defenders there.
Cut the crap out, both you, all right? Get on with playing the game.
The ability to rotate, roll off their direct opponent through just pointing. It was Heath Shaw directing it back then, was absolutely first class.
Well, Chambers down behind. Lonigan. Done with a goal there. It's out of bounds on the full, but he was under pressure. Tim?
I've been watching the Collingwood interchange steward. Since those 2 infringements, he's actually getting the players almost in a headlock before he's actually letting them come onto the ground.
Well, he was almost going to get a vote for the Bombers. Their best players a moment ago. There he is.
We should at least pixelate the man.
Right, not quite. Down low, Lonigan again to Hill. Hill gets the angle, but he can't quite get the distance. Terrific contest from Hocking. Monfries, Stanton, still Stanton across the face. Good kick. Zaharakis, free kick.
Front on contact from Tuvi.
Front on contact. Front on contact. He didn't touch him. Yeah, he did. He was not looking, but front on contact.
You can't do much when you're coming from the front.
No.
Been solid, Lachlan Keefe. I mean, 204 centimetres and playing key position defence. That's amazing to have that agility. I think they'll finish strong, Essendon. I think they're a bit harder and fitter this time of the year than probably any other team we've seen go through the last couple of weeks.
It was good, Stanton. Zaharakis likes a goal against Collingwood, doesn't he? Remember Anzac Day? Has he got 2 in this quarter? You betcha. Dennis, they are closing the gap.
It's a really valid point you make about Keefe. Lee, we did the stats. He's 204.
That's big ruckman size.
That's a huge ruckman size, and not only is he agile for that size, he's agile for a 191 player. I think he's got the ability to play that almost that mid-size defender.
Yeah,
remarkable agility.
Who wants this?
Here's the second one. Let's have a look who was the guilty party.
Well, Dane Beams isn't on that game to come on.
Wow, that was less than convincing.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my coaching days. Loose ball inside the forward 50. Cracker somehow boot to ball. That's a telling kick. It's a goal. That may put down the resistance as Cracker gets his third.
Where are you, Richo? What did you think of that one?
Yeah, it was pretty good, Lee. As I've said last week and this week, if there was a club suited to Andy Cracker, it's Collingwood. They play the most predictable game plan. This is what he was so good at Richmond. He wins the contested possession, but then he's so nimble and agile, and he knows where the goals are. We know that that's another Andrew Cracker trait.
Just to be able to keep his eye on the ball when it's an art to keep your eye on the ball when there's a lot of legs and bodies around it in the middle of the pack, and then just to wiggle his way into that half a metre of space.
It's his timing to get to the spot at front and centre on the move. A lot of players get there too early and end up flat-footed, just sitting there like a sitting duck. He's always moving into that position.
It's been a good quarter for small forwards. Monfries, Zaharakis at one end. Cracker with a couple in this turn, 3 for the match.
Push. Into him first. You can't push off, mate.
So Bill Chambers. Winderlick. Hocking left footer for 9. Doesn't get it. Goes to ground in the pocket, Cranberry. And then O'Brien, was it out in the full? No. But well done, Essendon, because Collingwood had them strangulated at half-time here, didn't they? And they've been able to breathe some oxygen in this third quarter and get themselves back into the contest. Jolly, Ryder, down low, Jetta. Can the number 7 for Essendon do what the 7 for Collingwood's been doing? Not this time.
Well, the new Essendon want to be hard to play against, so there was an opportunity, I guess, for them to be blown out of the water in this third quarter. So James Hird and the coaching panel will be looking, OK, we've been challenged here. We want to see how we respond to this.
Mark Thompson will be talking to Tim Watson at three-quarter time.
Knocked down by Jolly, who tries to retrieve it. Turvey missed it. Ryder didn't. Goal. This is impressive.
It was interesting when that stoppage, 15 metres out, ball up, you think, can Essendon lock it in? They had all the setup. They had plenty of time to get their defensive setup in place. And once the ball is in your 50-metre arc, you get it and have a quick snap. It might go through for a goal. And Essendon took advantage of that.
So Hurdy there, and Ryder, who hasn't had an impact. So Zaharakis and Ryder, no impact in the first half, both coming to the fore in the third quarter.
A bit.
Big margin was 34 points at the 7-minute mark of this quarter. It's back to 16 right now. Essendon coming hard. And remember, a Buckley 9-pointer in this quarter for Collingwood as well. So Essendon doing a lot of the scoring in this term.
It's where forwards have to be in front because a quick kick's the most likely clearance.
If you take the 9 points out, it's 9-6 to 8-5 on the scoreboard. Essendon forward again, Collingwood with the numbers, good stretch.
Yeah, the Collingwood defence just played their positioning much better. The Essendon forward just slipped out of contention upfield.
So Buckley to Shaw.
Stay there, play on.
Shaw had a magnificent second turn.
This is Keith. Clock running down to three-quarter time. Essendon whittling away this lead. Keith out of defence and outside the defensive 50. Mumfrey's very high, didn't touch the footy. Crawling after it there was the big guy Dawes. Chopped off nicely by Collier. Hooks it inside the forward 50. Missed initially by Hurley, went after it, couldn't do much with it. Pushed across the line by Tarrant. We've got a boundary throw-in.
Two very promising 20-year-olds compared to them. Hurley, who's only played about 29 games, and Keith hasn't played one, but both got a lot to offer.
Hill did well, knocked it down to Watson, goes back to Hill under pressure, hooks towards the kick-off line. Cramry out of position that time, interferes with O'Brien, advantage is paid. Heath Shaw's away, runs close to the boundary line, drives it towards the outer side wing. Cloak wanted front position, Hooker wanted the bounce and got it. Goes to McVeigh. McVeigh looks back towards the attacking 50. In short, Collier at the second attempt. Wasting no time, he plays on. Telling kick is long. Monfries is loose in the square. Not required. Mark is taken by Ryder in the pocket. Scuttling back was O'Brien to get to Monfries, which created a one-out contest. And Ryder had a height advantage, and now he's in the goal square.
Might have been just that hand in the back reference that he was probably a little bit lucky because it looked like there was a hand in the back before he marked it.
So Keith would sing his praises tonight, but a bad 5 minutes and the goal goes through off the bit of Ryder. 10 points the margin. That's a kick and a behind.
I'm glad he took that marker, Paddy Ryder, because I reckon in that previous Essendon attack he had the chance to jump third up against Cramwell in the Collingwood opponent, and he sort of chose to let Cramwell compete one-on-one, but the next surge he got it.
Kicked 5 of the last 6 goals, Essendon.
Yeah, no, I think they will finish stronger because I just think they're a bit harder and fitter as a group in this middle of March period.
So what's the 50 there for? Is it?
He looks like Shaw says something, I think.
Arguing the umpire also in that.
Yeah, look at Shaw, it's not Kemp.
Richo, what have you got for us?
Well, it's a pretty simple game, footy. Contested possessions, Collingwood is so good at it. It's pretty even on the night, but this quarter, Essendon are 8 up. It's a simple game. Win the contested possession, you're a chance.
And another contest right here as Richo speaks, and Essendon do win it. Stanton goes forward, Hurley couldn't hold it up, Tarrant did well. Buckley. So the champions of 2010 are being challenged, Collingwood here in the pre-season final, the NAB Cup. Myers, Hibberd on the left, doesn't quite get it far enough, or does he? Buckley chanced his arm, Pendlebury's little give out wide, Didak, back he goes, Davis so good early, held up, back to Pendlebury, don't see Pendlebury do that too often. The ball did stay in the end, and a boundary throw-in.
saw a little Collier, a very quick player, has come on as the sub, so he's fresh when everyone's a little bit fatigued. Maybe we see a inkling of what type of sub will be there in the main season.
Brown milking a free kick out of the boundary, throw in. Drew up barracking for the Bombers. His idol was Timmy Watson as he drives it down towards the pocket. Missed by Cloak. Arriving quickly was Hibbert. He went to ground. Getting back is Hardingham. Dangerous. Well, that was fending off. It must be a free kick against McVeigh to Cracker.
Touch. He took the advantage, so all clear.
He took the advantage. Yeah, well, the player's the one who makes the choice. Bad choice.
Yeah.
Once again, it was Cale Hooker on that at that point in time. Just didn't split the pack. They're getting to that third man, but not actually influencing the contest enough.
Stanton out of the back pocket then. Drives it short of the wing. Mark is taken by Shaw. Smothered off the boot. Well, half smothered. It deflects down towards half forward. Taken high was Thomas. He just reminded me of my son for a moment. He certainly made the most of the impact. Thomas plays on. 60 metres out. Gets a hand pass away. Ball lines up. Not the strongest of legs, but good enough.
It was a teamwork goal, wasn't it, really? Thomas, the shepherding, the blocking to try and see if they could get him through the 50-metre line. He didn't get there himself, but was able to find ball. Really good constructed goal.
Thomas almost ruled that goal, didn't he? I mean, he just made it happen. He refused to lie down.
He really has become one of the harder players in the competition, Dale Thompson. I reckon if you'd said that maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that the standing he's going to have in the game as a contested player, that's the hit he got. Butted up afterwards and set up the goal for Luke Ball. He's becoming the complete midfielder.
Not a bad actor as well towards the end there, but he is tough as nails. He's reinvented himself at a very young age. Pendlebury beautiful to Jolly.
Well, we know he'll like to do that when Essendon get that centre clearance to run into the half-forward flank to space, but he just wasn't quite alert enough to nail Jolly, and who did exactly that.
They're two recruits.
There we see, left the screen. Jolly took off, and it's only that a moment of hesitation by Hill is just enough for him to get into the space.
Ball's goal a moment ago. Jolly here, the two big recruits for last year. They made a big difference, particularly Jolly, didn't they? He was huge for them. Well, that's a terrible kick.
I just think Jolly is Collingwood's most indispensable player. They can cover almost anybody, but the big power ruckman, I don't think they've got a replacement for him.
Only a bloke with your reputation could say that with that kick to follow. Or actually, you said it after the kick. Very brave. Hooker takes the mark on the outer side. Kicks towards half forward. Now, early whistle. Not sure what it was for. Who's it against?
It's Collingwood, is it?
No, it's against Davis, I reckon, to Collier.
To Travis Collier. Yep.
So, what's the margin now? 17 points. Can't rule them out. Leah's made the point several times. He expects them to finish more strongly. Kicked into the man on the mark. That doesn't help. McCaffrey got it from Davis. Kicks down towards half forward. Bearing in mind, Bruce, I think 3 of our last 5 games have been draws. We could pull it off. Cloak, meantime, kicks the goal, which makes it harder for us. Siren, 3/4 time. And that is a knee buckler.
It's the contest win, isn't it? Cloak just won the contest. Hooker just fell away from the pressure. Preventable goal. It wasn't prevented.
So 3/4 time here in the NAB Cup final. A big turnaround in the last 30 seconds. Collingwood get the lead back to 23 points on Friday night footy.
And Darren Jolly in the red substitute bib now.
So Cameron Wood gets his chance at the start of the last quarter. So the NAB Cup Grand Final enters its 4th and final term with Collingwood leading by 23 points, hoping to become the first team since Essendon in 1994 to win the pre-season comp after winning the championship the previous year. Hill forward. Essendon made a few runs tonight at Collingwood. Zaharakis and Monfries, 4 goals between them tonight. Melsham to Zaharakis. McVeigh couldn't quite get the angle. Hurley Free kick.
Yep. Just got to the drop of the ball right at the right time there, Michael Hurley.
It's forcing yourself to the footy in a way, isn't it? Just force yourself to the footy. Shrug off the opponent's attention, just force yourself at it.
Just holds him at bay with his...
He's a 20-year-old against a very experienced defender.
In fact, the only 30-year-old out there for Collingwood tonight is Tarrant. So Hurley struck it well. It's an important kick. He's been an important player again tonight.
Yes, the centre bounces have been fairly even up to this point of the game, 10-9, but they're so important. If you can actually get the ball quickly into your forward 50 after a centre bounce, it gives your forwards a chance without the opposition defence being structured to work as a team. They're very much working on direct opponents from those plays.
Well, when it comes in quick, in most situations, it's the forward who has the first initiative to make the play.
Well, there's Michael Hurley playing on a very experienced Chris Tarrant. What he does really well for a young player, and it's a real positive, he protects the drop of the ball. He knows where the ball's going to land. He holds his opponent off and falls into that position at the right time.
Ryder goes high, hooks it down. McVeigh burrows in, gets the free kick as a result. McVeigh wants to go. Open forward line, it's all one-on-one. The high ball, Hill! Speaking of protecting the drop zone, Hill did it brilliantly. There's Hurley up ahead, he's got an appetite for it. Hill meantime unloads long. Hurley will fly from behind. Got hands to it, didn't hang on, falls in front. Winderlick, terrific. Lays it off, Stanton under pressure, gets the kick off. In fact, it's Watson. Watson has kicked the goal, the skipper.
Another centre bounce clearance that didn't come from the first possession, of course, but the free kick.
Jolly not on the ground.
And Jolly not on the ground. Now you've got the situation where Ryder, who I think has got a lot to offer tonight against Cameron Wood, who's the fresh player, but obviously not a first-string ruckman. It's going to be interesting to see how that ruck contest plays out and influences the game.
Haven't actually touched the ball yet this quarter, Collingwood. 15 disposals to zip.
It's a good finish by Watson. He kicked the first goal of the match. Hill forward, important a moment ago. So Hurley and Hill have been instrumental early in this final quarter. The heart would be racing a little for the Golden Boy. So Wood out of the centre. Beams, Pendlebury the captain. Back to Beams. And then Beams, good kick, long and hard and low. Cloak well played by Fletcher, belts it away. Lonigan, like Tibbett so far tonight, gets his head over. Hardingen's been important. Watson always important. Wide to Hill, gets him.
Call him in.
50.
9.
Still stays very promising, Lachlan Keith. But he's made some bad errors in this last 30 minutes of football. He's now on a very strong opponent. All of a sudden you've got a mature, big, strong guy against a 20-year-old who's still very narrow.
We're going to see a fair bit of this through the year. Ryder and Hill going forward, aren't we? So Hill misses. That's a big blow to the Bombers. But they have momentum.
Essendon have pushed really high up their defence, and the Collingwood forwards are holding back. Let's see if Collingwood can get through.
Margin 10 points now. It's going to be a free kick to Keith. Not sure that doesn't penalise the team. And Shaw not confident enough because that was out of his vision, but he didn't play on. Keith anyway makes it look okay. Telling kick, goal sack. Big leap will be penalised. Didn't touch the footing.
Back here.
Shaw has looked back and realises it's against his team. That's the problem sometimes with playing the advantage. You've got to be well aware of what the umpire's about to do and what's behind the blowing of the whistle. Danaward's full forward. Hill got his hands to it, taken high with Shaw. Sorry, Lee.
That's right. No, I mean, if Collingwood had got that ball, they had forwards behind it. It's Essendon are really pushing up very aggressively in these plays to lock the ball in.
First time seen Lee dispossessed in a long time, but you did it beautifully.
Always a C to the boss there.
I'm sitting about 20 metres from him.
So Buckley able to get the kick away. We know what a long kick he is, so boundary throw in.
Hill's coming off now. Tom Bell-Chambers coming on. See whether he goes straight in the ruck or plays that. I think he's going in the ruck. Paddy Ryder play forward.
Had an impact, Hill. Hurley and Wood together. Zaharakis and Johnson together. O'Brien lurks over the pack.
I guess with Essendon having the combination of, let's just say, a Hill and a Ryder, they can use their substitute with it. We saw a Collier.
That's a good combination for what this 21-plus sub's going to be.
Bring in a quick, fast player.
Woods tapped down. Johnson. Well played. Pendlebury to Buckley to Ball. Got it out of the danger zone. Stanton. Called to play on. Well, smothered again. We saw Collier smothered at the end of the third quarter. A tired Fletcher kick. Hurley! Not quite well done at the back by Tarrant that time. Timed it well. Boundary throw in.
A couple of one-step kicks coming into the game now, tired legs.
Well, I think they were happening early in the game. I think the quick kick forward under pressure is almost the new kick. Haven't seen it much in the high possession game in recent years.
Wood knocks it down in front. Collier goes after it. Shaw had it. On his knees, Johnson. Diving in, Zaharakis comes back to Heath Shaw with no space. Beams falling to the ground, gets boot to ball. Stanton. Well, he gives Collingwood a break there. He spilt the mark out of bounds. Throw in.
About 7 minutes into the quarter, I don't think it's been in Collingwood's forward half. Essendon have just got it locked in.
Another surge. I mentioned at three-quarter time their previous surge was met by a defiant Collingwood. But unmoved, they're coming again. That's holding the ball. The base of the pack there. Ball was being held by about 3 players and he was holding the ball. Don't worry about it. Kicks it down towards the pocket. There's interference. Collingwood behind in both contests.
Look at his arm. He's going to be able to go for the ball. You look at his arm.
So Hurley's got the free kick. It was against Tarrant. And behind, another Essendon man was leading up in front of his marksman. You see Ryder.
He certainly got his arm. He's got him in a hammerlock.
Yes. Hard to know why you would argue against that. Maybe it's just an involuntary action like the hiccups.
That is.
Puts it through for a behind.
2-2 to Hurley. Just an easy one in the second quarter. That one more difficult.
Now again, the Collingwood forwards are very much right of screen if Collingwood can find their way through this back half.
That's where the 9-point is great. 9 points down here. Get one here. Square it up.
Pendlebury, Swan. So some careful footy here.
Good defence by Essendon. Like the way they've moved their zone across, hem Collingwood in.
So Swan finds some space. Well done, Tarrant on the mark. Swan tries to get it over the back. Hardingham, third man up. Myers, Fletcher. Little dab, a good one. Fletcher's been in 4 premierships for the Bombers, a couple of them in the night, and the 2 famous day premierships in 93 and 2000. Hooker's slow kick. Collier protected it, but Pendlebury in and built it over the line. Brisbane, of course, played in a premiership for you in the pre-season.
2006,
yep, for Geelong, correct.
So just one straight kick now, separating these 2 sides. A 9-pointer. Essendon will draw on terms. Watson inside the forward 50. Some holding there. A free kick this time to Keefe against Ryder.
Free bit of contact.
Tarrant is penalised 5 metres away. Brings a wry smile. Zaharakis, meantime, sends it to the pocket and Hurley. Well, Tarrant and Keefe between them in the last 40 minutes or so, having a few problems down there deep in defence.
I've seen him kick really well left foot early. At this angle, you almost wonder whether coming round and a left foot across his body is a higher percentage shot than the right foot to the boundary.
Players have got to understand, no point in doing that. Didn't hurt Zaharakis, but it's going to hurt Collingwood if he kicks this goal. This to make the margin 3 points. But he's got it. Hurley's got his third. Essendon again coming at Collingwood.
So,
well, it's certainly been played in Essendon's forward half. We've mentioned that a few times. Inside 50s are about 7-1 this quarter, but if you talk about minutes in, it's about 8-1.
8 of the last 11 goals. No Reid down back, no Maxwell down back.
Yeah.
We know Brown's out for the year, but and suddenly there is a bit of exposure that Hurley's becoming the match winner. So the Bombers within 3 points of Collingwood. Melsham trying to kick it forward. Prismal chases. McCarthy went to ground. McVeigh, well done McCarthy. Thomas got some distance on the kick. Dawes cleverly trapped it. Oh, he's a good player, the big guy. Gets it out. Goes to Wellingham, to McCarthy, to Davis, who snuck forward. So Davis, who was a star in the first half and the back half, then leans back and goes to Brown. Fletcher, well done.
this is the game in a nutshell, hasn't it? Every time you've sensed Essendon have got close enough, they've just lifted a cog. Collingwood and typically got a goal in this situation to go a goal and a half up. Crucial for the Bombers to get the next one.
Bombers need to hold here first. It's one down by Bill Chambers. The longer it's gone, the better he's played. And the ball up.
Both teams' defensive structures to lock the ball in their forward line's been really good. Now it's Essendon's turn to see if they can get out.
Bill Chambers simply too tall. Knocked by Didak, but straight across towards Hardingham. Taken by Jetta. Goes around the outer side. Offhands it. Comes to Keefe under pressure. Boots the ball inside the 50. Terrific mark. Watson well held by ball early. He's just broken away a couple of times in this final term to good effect. Close to the boundary line, Hill. Not the first time in this quarter this pair have combined.
Just on that mark from Watson, I reckon with the advent of the really contested play from the Pies, there's going to be more one-on-one contested and one-on-one marks.
Has to be.
Yep.
Monfries, brilliantly done, Monfries. But the kick's a shocker. Out of bounds on the full. Did the hard stuff. Wrong-footed an opponent, but the kick off the side of the boot. So Luke Ball's got it.
If you take Buckley's super goal out now, it's 12 goals, 7 each.
Yeah.
So Ball went early there, did Stanton. And that one ricocheting away and a boundary throw in.
He's had a couple out on that far wing in the last 6 or 7 minutes there, Brett Stanton. Just as a senior player, needs to just clunk the ball like Joe Watson did down in the back half before.
They're certainly attacking right, aren't they? The one part of the game where they came up out of the back line and the centre corridor was late in that second quarter, and that was their worst 10 minutes.
So it got kicked from... There's Drought from here. Yeah. There's Drought, go to the left. Who's it come off last?
Now this is where the instant replay would work.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Collingwood kick.
It's come off his sort of thigh come knee. Has to be below the knee, doesn't it, to be the kick?
Third umpire went in doubt.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Stanton against him now. Ball kicks up centre wing, Melsham, and also McCaffer. McCaffer quite nice. Thomas, well done. Ran hard, probably didn't go 10 metres, didn't know that Thomas took the mark.
That was the perfect occasion. They'd already held up play to actually call for the video kind of look, and that probably would have shown it was knee or above.
A lot more of a chance there than with the touch ball.
Yeah, yeah.
So Collingwood have done this most of the night when challenged.
Found a way to kick a goal, haven't they, against the flow.
But the Bombers haven't been this close. It's been normally a kick and a half or 2.5 kicks, really. So he loads it up, Thomas, strikes it beautifully.
Oh.
It's a wonderful big-time player.
Very important, hasn't he? That goal, I mean, really, he was just on the end of a scrappy kick then, but that goal that he set up late in the third quarter when he was set up Luke Ball.
Yeah. So maybe an unlucky rub of the green for the Bombers with the out of bounds in the full.
But gee, there's going to be a lot of quick kicks that people are going to have to read off the boot because there's more and more quick kicks out of packs happening.
Thomas up to 16 possessions now, and that one, as good as any he's had tonight, that was a telling kick. Every reason to be tired. When you think back of the times they've been challenged, invariably Thomas has been at the heart of Collingwood, just steadying. Hill goes up, knocks it down. Pendlebury Gives it back to Tuvey. Tuvey through the centre square. Nice kick. Taken by Brown. Sweeping hand pass outside. Thomas did well. Reacted. Gave it to Swan. Across it comes to Ball. Cloak's got it now. Not his best effort. It scrubs towards the boundary line. McCarthy stopped the football effectively. Over at McVeigh, and he's going to get a free kick, and he's a bit lucky. I think Cracker did too much wrong. The umpire says high. And probably it was, but it was more a brush than a jump into his back. McVeigh deep in defence there. Drives it short of the wing. Bell Chambers growing in stature. Couldn't take the mark. Tarrant, well, he surveyed the horizon and did it well. Got it to Thomas, to O'Brien. O'Brien goes across the ground, getting back doors.
That is a great kick.
Wonderful.
Just that point we were talking about at half-time, that when McVeigh had the kick out of defence, there wasn't any position where Essendon had more players than Collingwood players. It was a long kick down the line, but there was more Collingwood players at the fall of the ball. That's where teams have got to work better together when you've got time and a set kick to get in position.
Dawes, 7 goals in the pre-season. He and Cramry, the leading goal scorers in that regard. This to break that deadlock and push Collingwood further in front. I think he's got it. He has. That's a big one.
Well, it's the mark of a really good side when challenged and you get to within sort of 3 points, 4 points, less than a goal. The senior players, we mentioned Dale Thomas has been the one who stood up on a couple of occasions at the end of the last quarter, and this one here. Just do something special. Win the contest, kick a goal.
This is on the end of the McVeigh kick. Let's see if Essendon have got the footy, but there's no more Essendon jumpers, and as soon as Collingwood get it, then you've got an extra Collingwood jumper. So should be able to do better than that from those kicks.
So I think Prismal coming off the line there. So Collingwood stretching it out to 15 points and getting that free. McCarthy goes back to Beams, and then Beams on the left. Oh! Well, they've kicked 3 goals in 4 minutes.
Well, they've been able to do that. They just the ability to kick, a handful of goals in little patches throughout the game. That's just what they've been able to do. But it all came from the centre square. I mean, it's a bad infringement, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he realised only had the 3, but he's come in too late off the line. And Beams' finish was fantastic. We've got a lot of goal kickers, Collingwood. I mean, that sounds silly, but a lot of blokes that can kick 20 goals in a season. They proved that last year.
So Prismal coming off the line with 2.5 goals the difference. I suppose 2.5 the margin. When better to have a Charlie Sheen moment. Hallett goes after it, scrambled out of there by Ryder down towards half forward. Beautifully picked up by Cramry, gives it across towards Collier. Collier misses, hangs it out to the right. 20 points the margin. Here's Tim.
Hardingham looks like he's done for the night for the Bombers. He went straight down with the club doctor, pointed to his groin, so he looked pretty distressed as well. So one would expect that his night is over.
Look at this bloke's a big chance for the tuck middle. The bloke with the ball right now. Shaw running it hard. Kicks the ball to centre wing. Collingwood now on top. Johnson from side bottom. Johnson, good kick. McCaffer. Beaten early by Hardingham in a few pivotal contests at the time. Not 10, side bottom, doesn't panic. Back to Johnson, left foot tight, across the face, Buckley, Prismal free kick.
They'll get a second crack at it here, Lee.
They only got, well, Collingwood took it so well out from the other end, didn't they? From the, even though they got the shot at goal, even though it was a behind.
Beautiful mark. Brilliant one-on-one mark by Swan.
Fantastic. Preston Ferris last season. Going into the Brownlow, the favourite. Here's Tarrant off his step. McCaffer inside the centre square really spears that one inside the forward line. I don't think it was intended for Beams. He got hands to it. Cracker! Just misses. So lively, Andrew Cracker. Every chance to make the headlines in Sunday's paper. 3 goals. For the first time tonight, really, you get the feeling that Essendon may not have a response. Fletcher into the path of Myers. Myers tracking it towards the boundary. Now, I guessed he'd come back on his left side. He's got to correct that young man. Hand pass comes from side bottom to Johnson, but the ball was out of bounds, so saved by the boundary. There's Myers, and we'll have a throw in. If he gets that right boot working, he'll be a very good player.
He's been found wanting a couple of times, I think, tonight with the intensity of the game.
Ryder and Wood won the tap. Pendlebury running hard. Hocking with him. So Hocking wobbling it. Does he keep it in? No. Again, a left footer kicking on his right that time.
Don't Swan. Back here, mate, please. Thank you.
Swan short. Beams, fresh legs. Started as a substitute.
Move it on, play on.
Kicked a fantastic goal a few minutes ago. Hooks it to the doors. Oh, he read it beautifully.
He's off.
Not sure if he thought it was touched or whether the mark was not going to be paid. Fletcher kicks the ball out of the 50. Swan's attack, terrific. Oh, brilliant Swan, back inside. Beams, running hard, then kicking the ball low. Well read, doors again.
Strong hands. We often talk about sides who've come off a really good year. They've just got this fantastic reservoir of confidence, Tom. You would have been the Geelong team's post. You just start the season believing in yourself, and you just... It doesn't always last the whole year, but it's certainly there early.
You definitely do, and you get a real familiarity around your teammates. And we all acknowledge that Collingwood's game plan's pretty predictable, but most importantly, it's predictable to themselves. And so they know that they can kick the ball to doors in a contest. He's going to play strong and mark out in front.
How well does he read the ball doors off the boot? He's brilliant at that. Kicks his 3rd goal, 2nd in the final term, and Collingwood are away now.
Yes, they've just been able to, the contested possessions are 137, 132 Essendon's way, but I think we can all visualise 6 or 8 key contests that Collingwood have won, and even we saw 2 of them. Swan over the far side of the ground, he actually won the contest, and then Dawes just out-position, out-judged his opponent up down there.
He's quick off the mark, Dawes, isn't he?
Yeah,
He quickly gets
very agile.
Well, people love a grand final. Look at that, 45,304. Of course, many people love both these clubs. 107 plays 80. Collingwood seem home. 4 minutes to go. I was just watching the interchange after that last goal, and still it's a work in progress down there. Very tense. Leading back in the race is Wellingham. Wonderful balance. That's happened a few times. The Collingwood man, well, I was going to say stays on his feet, but Wellingham went to ground far too easily at the 2nd attempt. Over the football line again. He's battled hard tonight. Tries to feed it out. Winderlick. Hibbert. Close to the boundary line. Kicks it towards the wing. Goldsack got a fist on it. O'Brien roving the pack, but played it straight to the hands of Zaharakis. But O'Brien ran on. Applied a tackle. It came to Wood. Kicks inside the forward 50. Hooker looking pretty sore and tired. Trying to paddle it across his defensive line. Flicks it back to no one in particular. Beams, who's been very important in the last 5 minutes, gave it to McCaffer. McCaffer goes to Johnson. Johnson the fumble, tries to feed it back, like Buckley's game. That did him in. Heppel kicks the high ball towards the wing. It's 3-on-1 out there, and one of the 3 launched himself but didn't touch the footy. Unrealistic, said the umpire. So out of all of that, Hurley, the lone bomber, gets a free kick and kicks it out wide, intended for Stanton, but that was a tired kick. And he's got reason to be tired, Hurley. It's a boundary throw-in.
So defeat for the first time, but no points attached. Good pre-season for Essendon. Can they turn it into early wins in the home and away season? Because
I think the point, and Bomber Thompson made it at 3/4 time, Essendon got creamed twice last year against Collingwood. At least they've been in the contest. at various times tonight. So bit of a step forward from that point of view.
Well, we did the Anzac Day match, and the match was over quarter time.
Quarter time,
And then later in the season, they were hammered again. So O'Brien held up, just so strong. He was able to hold Monfries off. Beautiful kick coming out wide from Shaw. What a player he is. To Tarrant. I reckon they'd enjoy playing on the same team again together, those two guys. Tuvey. And Tuvey, good kick. And Cloak. So the big forwards for Collingwood. Cloak a couple of goals. Dawes 3. They've worked pretty well tonight.
It was classic pattern of play there by Collingwood. A switch kick from Shaw to Tarrant down the line. And how many times we've seen Travis Cloak come up this side of the ground and then open up the arc with his left foot. Not always a goal, but opens up the arc with his left foot.
That one just across the face and a behind. So the margin goes out to 28 points. It's happened pretty quickly in this last quarter.
Miles to bring it in.
Look at the 4 matches for Essendon. They've got the Bulldogs, Sydney away, St Kilda and Carlton. That's a tough draw, isn't it?
Will tell us a lot about their season after those 4 games. Here's Heppel from halfback.
And that's followed by Anzac Day, Dennis.
Yeah, and the Woods again, eh? Collingwood, by contrast, will start their season against Port Adelaide. We like their chances. Here's Melksham running towards half forward, just pops it into the path of Monfries, who goes back and takes the mark. Under a minute to go. And I think what we've learned in this game is that Collingwood, a club who's known a lot of heartache over quite an extended period, are going to enjoy their time at the top. It seems to sort of bubble through that they've got an insatiable appetite to win football matches. If that's the case, look out the rest of the competition. But they've been brave tonight, the Bombers. Monfries to pull it back to 22 points. Going at his 3rd goal, their leading goal scorer last year, albeit with a low tally, and he puts it through. Monfries gets his 3rd, and I reckon this is possibly a fair margin, 86 to 108.
Just a quick thought on the...
There's Mick Moldhouse. I made the comment yesterday, I couldn't visualise if they win the premiership again that he doesn't coach them in 2012, despite the arrangement.
You didn't mean this premiership though, Lee, did you?
No, I meant the main one at the end of September.
I'm only teasing. Well, that is a volatile statement from you. And
I know, it's just... It seems to me that's the way the world works. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens if that happens. I mean, if the premiership and the 2 in a row happens.
First pre-season crown for Mick to go with the other premierships he's won. And think about the Tuck medal in a moment. Just give us a thought. So Collingwood about to do what Essendon did in 1994, the last team to do it, win the pre-season cup after winning the premiership the year before. So the juggernaut keeps on rolling, doesn't it? Said this before recently, Collingwood win the grand final. Terrific, the Pies. What do you reckon for the Tuck medal, guys?
I'm going to go for the Shaw, Dale Thomas, Quinella.
Lee, have you got a thought?
I thought Leon Davis, when the game early on was fantastic out of the back 50, so I'd go with him.
Well, just 3 of the very good players for Collingwood tonight. Don't think Essendon lost a lot tonight, though. They held up well.
No, it was a progression from where they were at the end of 2010, undoubtedly.
Let's go down to Tim Watson. Tim.
I'm here with Leon Davis. Congratulations, Leon, on your game. It's a 22-point margin, but it looked a lot tougher than that out there.
Yeah, it was. They're in great form, and we always knew it was going to be a battle coming up against them, and yeah, just good to get the win.
The back line stood up particularly well tonight.
Yeah, we've got some areas we need to work on, but yeah, pretty pleased with the boys tonight. Of course, we'll go away during the week and look at the video and all that, so we've got a bit of work to do.
Has this been the ideal preparation for the regular season?
Yeah, look, we're working on our structures and what we have to do, what Mick set down for us. So as long as we keep improving on that, I think we'll be fine.
And how are you enjoying your new role?
Yeah, a bit different to the forward line, but yeah, definitely enjoying it. So that's good.
Is this something that you asked Mick to do, or is this something that Mick spoke to you about doing?
Nah, Mick spoke to me. A bit of a shock at the start, but yeah, I just had to knuckle down and do some hard work, and yeah, it's good to be playing down there and having a bit of fun with it.
They don't need you up the other end of the ground with Cracker there either.
Yeah, we've got Crack down there now. He play well tonight, the kids, so it's all good.
Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Good stuff. Not sure if Leon really wanted to hear that about Cracker.
That was the poison question.
I think he had to have a refocus at the start of this year, didn't he? And for Essendon, well, they've had a very successful NAB Cup series. So 19 of their day premiership players out there tonight. Backs will obviously all come back shortly, you would think.
I said before the game, I mean, they were really good tonight, Collingwood, but I do think they're just playing out of habit so far. I mean, the adrenaline rush that's going to come, at the moment, their structures and just the basic, the way they play, has just held them in really good stead to win a competition that they didn't set themselves for, undoubtedly.
So a bit of a bonus. So let's go down to our Master of Ceremonies for the presentation after the NAB Cup and Craig Willis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we commence our formal presentations this evening, we'd firstly like to acknowledge and thank NAB, represented tonight by Gavin Slater, Group Executive, Group Business Services. Tough night for the Essendon Footy Club, but they made it to the grand final of the NAB Cup. I'm going to invite their captain, Joe Watson, to come forward and say a few words.
Just on behalf of the players, I'd just like to congratulate Collingwood. Obviously looking like they're going to have a great year again. To the AFL and to NAB, thank you very much for the competition. To our fans, thank you very much for turning up. It was a great atmosphere. Great to be part of a game like this at Etihad. And also to our major sponsors, Samsung and True Value Solar. So thanks very much, guys.
Thank you, Joe. Good luck to you and Essendon in season 2011. Now it gives us a great deal of pleasure to invite former Hawthorn champion and AFL Games record holder Michael Tuck to present the medal named in his honour to the player adjudged best on ground in the NAB Cup Grand Final.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to be here tonight, and the winner of the medal is Heath Shaw from Collingwood.
Just quickly, I'd like to thank Essendon for a ripper game. That third quarter was pretty tense. Glad obviously we got over the line. I'd like to thank all the fans for coming out tonight. It's a beautiful night, and it's glad to get the win. Thank you.
Congratulations, Heath. Well, NAB has been an outstanding sponsor and great supporter of the competition, which has seen matches played throughout the length and breadth of Australia. We've got Gavin Slater, Group Executive, Group Business Services from NAB, to present the 2011 NAB Cup to Scott Pendlebury and Mick Malthouse.
Thank you very much to Essendon, to Jimmy. Fantastic job for a young bloke coming into the AFL coaching field, and his young team really forced us right to the end of the game to have to pull something out. So well done to the Essendon Football Club. Well done to our boys who were fantastic and have been over the summer. To the NAB, I think when you're out in the first round, sometimes you don't like the competition, but when you keep going through it, you enjoy it more and more. And it's been it's a great competition to have a high-intensity competition through to get to round one. So I applaud the NAB on their wonderful games and this competition. To the AFL, again, full house last year, grounds outstanding, well presented, well done to Andrew, and to the wonderful supporters, thank you so very, very much.
Congratulations, Meg. Congratulations to the Collingwood Footy Club. Go on, fellas. Come and enjoy the moment as the NAB Cup champions of 2011.
So Collingwood take the NAB Cup in 2011. And what about Heath Shaw? His dad Ray was the captain when Collingwood won the night premiership in 1979, and Uncle Tony won the Norm Smith in 1990 when Collingwood famously beat Essendon. As we said at the start of the night, before tonight, there'd only been one grand final between these two clubs in 99 years. Two famous clubs with 31-day premierships between them. So, a bit of sparkles. Tim Watson is down there, and I think he's going to try and find our Michael Tuck medalist. Tim, good effort. Heath Shaw was terrific. He's just going back for a photo. Tim was yeah, but you're there, Tim, and I can talk to you. You're about to talk to Heath. They were good, Collingwood. Essendon did a good job as well, but Heath Shaw, no surprise that he was the Michael Tuck medalist. So, smiles for the cameras for Collingwood. Getting used to it, aren't they? And off comes the champ. And Heath Shaw now talks to Tim Watson.
Well, on Heath, now you didn't flinch all night until the streamers went off about 5 seconds ago, and I saw you jump.
Mate, I jumped about 10 foot then. That was a bit scary. Yeah, it was a pretty tough game, I suppose. Yeah, first half was good. That third quarter, you know, we let them back in it, and good character shown by all the boys in that last quarter. We got challenged, and we come out with a win, and you know, it's probably a good game for us leading into round one as well.
They did challenge you, and I watched you last week against the Eagles over in Perth. You look like, as a group, you might have been cruising a bit. Is this the type of hit-out you needed?
Oh, definitely. I think the first couple of weeks, you're just trying to get the miles in the legs, and you're happy to get the wins on the board, but it's more about getting players ready for round one. But when you get into a grand final, you don't fluke it, so we definitely wanted to win tonight, and it was a really good hit-out for us, and we did pretty well.
Congratulations, and well done on the Michael Tuck medal.
Thanks very much, mate.